What is going on, people? Welcome to Throwdown Your Questions, episode 288. I am your host, Tony Polanco, and tonight I'm joined by Emilio Lopez.
What's up, people? How's it going?
Oh, no, somebody's missing. No Chris Seeley tonight. Carlos Romero.
Yo.
Adam Vale.
Hey, what's up, people? It's Sunday. Sacrifice Sunday.
Brett Murdoch.
What's up, people?
And Brian Manjoma.
Yeah, Last of Us 2 is really odd. For some odd reason, Joel keeps saying girl a lot.
Oh, man. By the way, so Brian, you only got one more of those before the game comes out, right?
Oh, yes, one more, and I've been saving this one. I thought of it like weeks ago, and it's perfect.
Oh, nice.
Because all you guys are going to groan, and you'll see why. It's beautiful.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, it should be good. All right,
Tuesday?
we got a big
What's
show
it?
for you tonight, so we're not going to waste much of your time here, so just quick couple of things. So tonight is only going to be PlayStation 5 reveal questions. You guys sent us plenty of those, but it was like maybe 3 questions were not related to it. I'm going to save those for another show, right? So we'll do those another time. I need to quickly say Damien left a very giant rant about Throwdown and about me. Basically, he's back to his old Damien ways, right? I was about to do it tonight. I was going to respond to it tonight. But given the large quantity of questions, I'm like, you know what? I'll save that for the top of Thursday's show where we could address...
Can I just
Yes.
can I just say, like, wasn't I like a fair amount of us just bitching through a good portion of the show?
Wait, what happened?
His beef is with Tony. It's not with anybody else. Apparently.
One beef is with us, with all of Throwdown, but the majority of it is with me. A lot of slander, a lot of shit that's not true. Again, I was going to address it tonight, but we got a lot of questions. This is you guys' show, so we will do that on Thursday.
Can I say something just real quick? I just want to steal 30 seconds from you.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, like, keep in mind here, like, everybody's a fucking nerd. Like, you're in a room full of nerds, so treat people like you would in a room full of nerds. Like, we all have nerd arguments. We all get passionate about things, but that's not any reason to kind of send the message that I'm assuming Tony got. Like,
Damien was respectful.
Okay. I thought you meant he was popping off on you, and I was like, okay, people, no popping off on the host.
No. He respectfully said some incorrect things about me.
Oh, that's it. If he respectfully told you to eat a dick, that's fine. Like, you know.
Oh, no. He's not back to that, Damien. You know, he didn't do anything like that. It's just he said things that were just factually incorrect that could be proven by watching old episodes. But he was respectful about it, you know?
Okay, cool.
You know, and then the last thing, I have an announcement to make. Actually, you guys should already know this. If you've visited our YouTube channel or our Twitter, you will know that we have a contest going on right now, people. For The Last of Us 2, we're giving away a free copy to a lucky listener or viewer. And if you want a chance to win this, go over to our Twitter, and all the details are there on the pin tweet. But, you know, if you guys are too lazy to go to our Twitter, I'll just break it down to you real quick. Basically, follow us here on Twitch at Throwdown Show. Follow us on Twitter at Throwdown Show. Go over to our Twitter, and on the pin tweet, there's a question. What is your most anticipated next-gen game? Answer that. We're going to grab somebody at random on Thursday and, you know, give you a free game. You know, so that'll be cool. Also, I have a quick other announcement to make. You got to do it now, man. Okay, so the next giveaway we're going to do after this is going to be Ghost of Tsushima, right? But usually with these things, you know, we pay for it, right? This one's actually sponsored, people. You guys in the show didn't even know about this.
Excuse me?
Excuse me?
What?
Here's the funny thing, though. It's not like an official company or anything. I'm going to say this. I'm going to give you a little bit of a clue. It's one of our fans, and he's kind of offhandedly funded every single one of our giveaways for the last like year or two because all the bits he leaves us.
Oh.
Yes, you know who it is. Glorious War. He hits me up. He's
Nick
like, hey,
Cannon?
Yeah, no, not Nick Cannon. So Glorious War hits me up last night. He's like, hey, listen, I want to sponsor the next giveaway. I want to buy the game for the fans. I want to buy Ghost of Tsushima for fans. I'm like, that's kind of funny because that's our next giveaway. You know?
Yeah.
Now,
And we were going to ask you to do it
man.
anyway, so thanks.
Yeah. So, and he said, you know, obviously we're going to give him mad props, but he said he loves Throwdown. He loves the thousands of hours that we of entertainment we write him, and he wants to give back to the community, which is
Imagine
awesome.
if Glorious wins.
Yeah, you imagine that? You know? That would be hilarious. Like you buying a game for
man, that's
yourself.
awesome though.
No, that's cool. It's like obviously money's not a problem. We make enough on the back end here, you know, shit. So that's kind of cool that a fan's actually willing to do that. And again, he kind of already finances these things anyway. He gives us so much money to begin with, you know, which is pretty.
He makes
dope,
it rain. He makes it rain.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much actual bits are worth though.
It's like a penny each, but think about it. It's like the guy makes it rain pennies, man. You know. And then of course we got guys like oh my god, Techno Fabulous. I had his real name stuck in my head, John Place, you know. That's another one. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So yes, that's the other big announcement. Our next giveaway will be Ghost of Tsushima, but that's going to be closer to launch of that game, you know.
Nice.
Anyway, we got a lot of questions tonight, and you know, I'm not going to let these questions run on too long because, again, we got a lot of them, you know, so let's get ready. And like I said, at the top of the show, all of these are about the PlayStation 5 reveal. So let's get into it first with our boy, Mr. Mebs, who actually sent me his questions via PSN message. So shout out to Mebs over there in the UK, man. All right, first up, with Sony's silence over the PS5 all these months, does the recent reveal make up for all the silence? Have they done enough and even possibly outdone Microsoft, who has been consistently feeding us information about the Xbox Series X? In hindsight, would you still have preferred the information about the PS5 to have trickled through as they did with the PS4 or even like the Series X as we've seen with Microsoft? So yeah, does the PS5 reveal basically negate all the bullshit we've had to deal with for all these months, or make up for the silence?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Nope. I think all of this anticipation led for even more hype for the conference, and I guess the expectations that they set by leaving us dry for several months while Microsoft kind of trickled in everything, kind of, led to expectations that I don't think they could even meet. And I don't think they did it with this conference. So, yeah, I don't think it was worth the wait, to be honest, because there's still so much that we haven't seen. We still don't know the price. We still don't know the date. We still haven't seen a lot of the games. We don't know what this system's going to launch with. Is it going to launch with Miles Morales? Is that the game that it's going to launch with?
No, as far as it just says holiday 2020.
Yeah, holiday. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
The expectation is launch window.
Right. So there's still so much more that we don't know. For me, I guess the coolest thing about this, the coolest thing about the conference to me that actually showed the PS5 and what it can do for an extended amount of time was the Ratchet and Clank trailer. That was the one that sort of said, okay, this is what the PS5 can do. So look forward to this. But that was pretty much it. A lot of other trailers are pretty exciting, but they weren't showing us what the system can do. So there's definitely still a lot more questions left to be answered, and I felt like this conference was primed to answer a lot of those. We don't know how the UI looks. There's still a lot of other things that are left that are unsaid by Sony. So yeah,
they kind of teased us with a somewhat of a UI thing, but I don't think it's anything.
Yeah. I've been thinking a lot about this. Like, by the way, I don't actually know the answer to the question. I don't know. I need to ask myself that more. But I'm wondering if Sony's very frustrating manner of how they essentially held back all this information until now was genius or not. I'm going to explain why, right? Xbox has been consistently giving us updates, which is great, but you were expecting that, right? Sony being silent for so long, when they finally revealed something, everybody fucking exploded, went nuts. It's basically it's always like one of the things, like if you get something readily, you don't appreciate it as much as like when you actually finally get something, and the reaction I saw online, people mostly, it looks like 90% fucking loved it, which is pretty interesting. I'm wondering if this frustrating, because I didn't like the way they did it, but it seems to work. Everybody's fucking hyped for the PlayStation 5 now, so I just have to wonder if it was a genius in the end, or at least well thought out. Not well thought out, but it worked out well for them in the end. Go ahead, Adam. You're saying something.
Only because just like remember with the PS3 with the boomerang controller,
Yeah.
They showed that off early, and people backlash like, "Oh, this is garbage," and they're like, "Don't worry, we'll fix it." Not happening. I think we're sort of seeing that now with people not liking the way this shit looks.
I haven't seen that. People actually seem to like this shit a lot.
Tons of. I could send you a shitload of stuff. Official
well,
sites.
I could send you a shit of people liking it too. You know,
because then that's even worse because you don't want your community divided that way. Yeah, especially on just something that's
again. Obviously, you know, there's different opinions everywhere, but I'm talking about just specifically from my end. Like 90% of the people seem to really.
And then with the
I don't like it.
Going on,
I already made that clear, but you know,
the whole thing going on with the miles and how they didn't really clarify that and all the confusion going back and forth. Is it DLC? Is it digital? Is it half a game? Is it full of game? And it's like, oh, it's full of game. Is it going to PS4?
Yeah,
and
man, don't get me. Actually, we're going to get to that later. We got.
It was a mess. It was a mess. So. It just left a lot more questions. And then, of course, the pricing and all the bullshit with that. And so if they would have answered simple shit, it's like, hey, this is how much it's going to cost. It's going to be backward compatible with this, and that. And these are games launching at date. All right. That's it. I think a lot of people would have had it. I would have said, hey, this was a very successful event because now we know the price. We know what games are launching. You know, we're up to date. We know what's going on. We still don't know any of these things.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Again, and the weird thing is here on Throwdown, even though we're considered a pony podcast, right? We're kind of the outliers, at least from what I've seen, because we are all kind of negative about it. But everybody else I've seen, I'm like, oh my God, that was fucking incredible. I'm like, really?
Well, that's because we're not ponies.
Yeah.
I think the thing about it, I think a lot of people were sort of like wowed by some of what they showed there. But I think and I noticed even after a day or even days after, and people started to really kind of evaluate what they really saw, and a lot of people were just like, I don't know, man. We kind of did see some interesting things, but like we look at it in the general, it's like there's not a lot. They're not saying what's coming. You know, they're not saying what it's launching with.
Yeah,
we know maybe a few are launching with it.
No, we don't know. We don't know anything at all. Let's just be honest.
The only thing is that any of the ones that you saw, because there's no official dates on anything, but the things, there were things in there that said like holiday 2020.
Yeah. Miles Morales being one of them.
Miles Morales, a couple of the indie games, they're all said holiday 2020.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's like I was extremely disappointed by the conference, but I actually like how the console looks, and I've seen I think it is kind of split, but going back to what Tony said, the whole genius part, I don't think it's genius. It's just the power of fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, you think so?
PlayStation.
By the way, I should rephrase that because genius is a little bit too much of a strong word. I'm just wondering if it worked out to their benefit in the end. You know, them being silent for so fucking long, and then when people finally get it, it's just like. You know how water's so sweeter when you're thirsty. Like I'm wondering if it was that kind of effect. You know.
Well, I feel like. Sorry, Adam.
But maybe it is the Sony effect. You know, it's like Sony just has the pull on people.
I also think that people are just you know, I think a minority are quite louder than the thing. I think it's hard to really get a good judge of it, especially when you have a bunch of fanboys going over everybody else.
Yeah, but then you have Xbox fanboys, and you know none of their blathering seems to do anything. Think about it like this, right? I'm including media in this too. Microsoft showed a whole ass console, right? That ain't getting near as much attention as a fucking logo from Sony. You know,
well, I mean, our reaction was a lot better than if you took a look at our two different reactions.
Yeah,
I feel like our reaction from the Xbox was a lot bigger than
for us. It was bigger because obviously we didn't know it was coming. With this, we knew they were going to show the system. You know, like if we didn't know at all, because think about it, this was an Xbox console at a show that had nothing to do with Xbox. You know, like at a Sony show, you expect some Sony shit. You know, like. It is interesting. Anyway, let's move on because again we got more questions here. Brian Wilson, before his question, he goes, "Hey guys, what's going on? You know I'm going to get with you guys soon and talk about everything that has been revealed plus some. But I've got a quick question for you right now. Yeah, I actually invited him on the show once again, but he's busy Thursday. Again, it's so cool that he actually does articles based on topics that we discuss on Throwdown for the Coalition. It's fucking awesome."
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so his question, and we were kind of touching on it during this one. Based on everything we've seen so far, does anything Microsoft has shown I'll just break it down. Has anything that you've seen from either the Xbox One Series X or the PlayStation 5 announcements gotten you excited to buy either system?
No.
Yeah,
I can't say that happened.
This doesn't feel like next gen.
No, it doesn't. It just feels like a slightly one step up slightly from the previous
like
gen.
a Pro and S type of or X type of moment. It's like a half-ass. It doesn't feel genuine.
Yeah.
No. And I'm at least hoping the moment that at least Microsoft actually starts showing some of their first parties and not just a bunch of CG or in-engine things, which are also questionable, things like something actually shown some actual real gameplay. I haven't seen it. We haven't seen anything yet. Like if we start seeing actual gameplay of Hellblade and it looks as good as that first trailer they did, or
Halo, just show
Halo Infinite
gameplay. What's going on? Don't show some CG and some cutscenes like, oh, this story's gonna be amazing. Don't give a shit. I want to see how it's gonna play.
Yeah, I don't want to see another section of remember with those Spartan Lock trailers. It was like, man, this looks cool. Oh okay. Yeah, well, whatever.
Like the main dude ain't even in it, And this one is a related question from Mob Hits. He says, is there anything to justify a day one purchase? Everybody here said no. And then he said, with all the upcoming shows, that Sony's going to be at during the summer, should people wait until those before making a final choice?
What other shows are they going to be at?
They're going to have some shit every month,
Oh, really?
What?
Oh, okay.
That's what I.
Wait. Who's having shows every month?
Because remember, they're going to have Gamescom digitally, right? Unless I'm wrong, but
those are okay. Because I was gonna say it's not Sony.
No, it's not Sony. They're gonna be at other shows.
Okay.
I know about Gamescom for sure, and there's supposed to be another one, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know, but usually,
what are they gonna do? Reveal at Comic-Con, the digital Comic-Con?
I don't know, but I'm guessing at these other shows they're gonna actually have more games, maybe some release dates. Yeah, no, but with the exception of like Carlos, I think all of us are like, no, this. Actually, no, Carlos, even you're gonna buy day one, but even you say it's not justified, right?
Yeah, I'm getting it because I know I'm gonna get a PS5 eventually, and because of the whole new tech smell. So it's something new that I'm gonna get it. But yeah, I'm with everyone else. I think honestly, I was the one that liked the conference the least out of everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe even more than Brett. I was kind of surprised. Yeah, so I nothing justifies buying the console for me so far.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
Either console.
I'm not trying to be the resident hater.
Yeah, no, something has to stand out to make it worth it. And if not, then I'll wait until they do a proper bundle and they change the colors. And they do one of those, like, oh, we're going to skin this for the new God of War, and it's going to have a cool look. Like, all right, cool. Or a new Call of Duty or something like that. So I don't have to see this big white with this black goo dripping down the front. I don't want to see.
If Miles Morales, it turns out to be exclusive, that's something that, that's
its own box. That could definitely have its own box.
By the way, somebody on Twitter asked me that. It's like, how come they don't make, special bundle consoles right at the gate at the beginning of a generation like that? That's because they don't have enough components to make all the systems.
Yeah, that's pricey.
Yeah.
Time is pricey. They don't have
they used to.
Maybe back in the day. Which one do you recall, Brett?
Yeah, which one?
Nintendo and Super Nintendo both came with the starter.
Oh, you're talking about starter games, not
we're talking about
the fancy.
Dude, it was a game bundled with the system. What else?
I agree with you, but remember, as we discussed, they didn't have those specialized consoles back in the day. That's a recent phenomenon. It's like, look at this Gears of War themed Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. Those they don't launch.
They don't launch that. They don't launch. There's not enough systems.
But for some reason, Japan tends to get alternate colors.
They get Japan. Yeah, because here's the thing. The design of the PlayStation 5 isn't my issue. It's the color scheme that bothers me. I don't like white.
Yeah, the color scheme. That's it.
The actual console, even though I don't like the big fucking size or whatever, but it's like the colors bother me. I don't like white in technology.
Man, the Dreamcast was white.
Yeah, it was, but it was Sega. I let it slide.
Oh, Sega gets the.
Of course, you know how it is, man.
That doesn't sound like fair and balanced to me.
It isn't fair. Who the hell said I'm fair and balanced, man? Fuck that shit. You know?
Yo, man, you're a chaos.
I know you be poo-pooing on certain people out there.
I do poo-poo on people, man. I shit on them too, you know?
Hey.
Yeah. By the way, that's a whole other thing. I hate when people go, "Oh, you're a journalist, you're supposed to be fair and objective." No, I'm not. Fuck you.
Whoa, family show.
All right. Yeah.
Like, I like what I like.
I like what I like, motherfucker. Kiss my ass, you know?
Whoa. Don't worry, we'll edit in post.
Tony Polanco says.
Whoa.
All right. Let's move on to the next question. If I have it ready, I believe I do. All right. So Axel Wolf asks us, with Sony announcing 2 versions of the PlayStation 5, does that change your price predictions? Is it possible that the $499 console is the digital edition? And also related question from Agent Redshirt. What do you actually wait? That's a little bit later. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So yeah, price points. Let's make some predictions, man. I think we did it already on the Thursday show, but we'll do it again because I have my predictions and some may be controversial.
But now we're going based off of what we sort of know, what got leaked, or just predictions.
No, predictions on them on what they showed on the PS5 conference, because they showed those 2 consoles.
Yeah, but I thought you said pricing prediction on the pricing.
Yeah. No, you can base it off. You can base it off leaks if you want, man. You know.
Yeah, we've seen some outlets of pricing, and all right. So I'll just smash mine out first. So the Target, when I did see that one when that posted up, and I was like, oh, that's a placeholder. But usually they don't put prices for a placeholder, but they did, and they had it for $399 for the digital, not for the other one. They only had placeholder for digital, and then they took it down. That sounds about accurate. $399, I'm thinking for digital. $499 for the big boy. That's what I'm thinking. Now, PlayAsia over there went crazy with the $699 price. I don't believe that.
Fuck, that's crazy.
That's them probably doing a markup, trying to make some, because they refuse to take that shit down, even with all the bad press. They're like, "No, fuck that. You pay this shit." And I'm sure some people did. I'm sure there's dumb people that did it, but I'm guaranteed to get one. Okay.
I think the thing about it with PlayAsia also adds an additional thing on there.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Because they're literally importing the consoles. So they're probably, I would say they're probably charging you a premium.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it'd be that'd be the 100 or 150 or something. I mean, that's
I would think it'd be the 150 that they're charging 100 because they're importing it and they're doing all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, I mean, the best way to do is to see what the markup is on other things that they've done in the past.
Yeah. Too. So I'll go with the $399 for the.
I think Adam froze.
$399 for the digital. I completely disagree with that.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Adam. You froze hardcore for like 10 seconds, man.
Shit, I did.
Yeah, you said $399.
$399 for the digital, $499 for the big boy.
It would have had. By the way, my little freeze would have had more effect if I would have had my hand out. Like,
no, but your hands are still moving. So
yeah, that is true.
So for me, I think.
Oh, by the way, real quick, Adam, I 100% agree with you. 100%. I think the digital one's gonna be 400, and the regular one's gonna be 500. So I agree with you, man.
The question we need to know is what kind of size hard drives are we going to see?
We'll get to that later. Carlos,
I think we're going to see 5 and 6, but that's just me.
Ooh, okay. So Brett says 5 and 6. All right, Carlos, what do you say?
All right. So who am I going to agree with? Tony and Adam? I think Manny, you're with Tony and Adam, or I don't know if you said which one.
Come back to you if you want.
Okay. So are you thinking on that? Tony and Adam think it's going to be $399 or 4. Let's make it easy. 400 and 500.
Yes.
Brett thinks it's going to be 500 and 600. And I agree with one of those 2 factions.
With Brett.
So put me with Team Brett.
With the suspense.
Yeah, you agree with Brett because you already said you disagree with Adam.
Yeah, he
said already said it. You blew up in your own spot, bro.
God damn,
yo, man, that was
maybe people won't pay attention.
That was a reverse mic drop. That's like it's going into your hand.
You put that shit back up the floor.
So yeah, I think it's going to be 500 and 600. I think the reason why the only reason why this sad edition exists is because they want to they can't they know how much they have to price for this system, and they know it's too damn expensive, so they're like, we're going to have to cut costs somewhere. Because when in the world has Sony ever released a console that is less than, was it the PS5 or the PS3?
PS3, but it wasn't by much, as I remember.
It was 100. It was 500 and 600.
Yeah, it was 500, 600. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think they're harkening back to the PS3 days. They're different messaging, of course.
Thing,
But yeah, but like they have to price this.
They got to play their cards smart and do a payment plan. Don't ask people to
gotta
pay
have
outright.
some.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I
don't
agree.
do
And
this.
remember,
Oh,
it's been confirmed that the console costs $450 to manufacture, right? So losing $50 may not be as bad, and then you gain another $50 on the other end.
And real quick, something that needs to be said that's really important. I forgot who said it, but someone in Sony, in one of those interviews said that the consoles are identical, both of them, except for the disc drive. The disc drive is the only discrepancy between the consoles.
Makes sense.
So when people are mentioning what's the hard drive, the SSD space going to be, they're going to be the exact same. Those 825 or whatever that number was.
Wait. Then it's also it's the same hard drive in both.
Yeah.
That's
same.
whack. That's whack. The one digital should have a bigger hard
But
drive.
it's not. Are you surprised though, Adam?
I am surprised.
I'm not.
Because
I'm not.
that's not what
the guts are always going to be the same. The guts are always going to be the same.
Adam, that SSD space is way more expensive than a freaking Ultra HD Blu-ray drive.
Yeah.
I know, but they got to figure something out if you're going to go all digital. Got to figure something.
Yeah, what you got to do is
All right, let me ask you guys a question real quick. Do you think because Microsoft is not using the SSD that they have the power to undercut Sony? Period. Like, I'm sitting here looking at the parts, being like, man, like, there's no way that Sony can go as cheap as Microsoft.
Microsoft
they are using an SSD as well, just their own version of it. But it's possible that Microsoft's system may be it may be cost less to manufacture. It's definitely
depends on
Microsoft
for the drives.
What happened?
Microsoft has way more. They have more expensive tech in terms of GPU. Than the Sony. So they're not cutting costs there as compared to Sony. I think that's the reason why Sony has their 10 teraflop thing, and they're putting all their eggs on the SSD memory bandwidth basket. So some company is using this to sort of generate like the most money for their console. The other one is using something else. So, but yeah, 500 to 600 for me.
All right. Oh, by the way, one other thing I want to use to justify my pricing is, again, not a scientific poll, obviously, but a poll I did over on our Twitter. I asked the fans, what do they want? Do they want the all-digital version, or do they want the physical version, right? 74% wanted the physical version. So $500 console is going to be the one that sells the most, so they could get away with selling the other one for $400 because not that many people are going to buy it. As a matter of fact, I want to do a quick poll here. Am I the only one? Brett, I'm still in your line. I hope you don't mind that. I know it's copyrighted, but can I steal it for a little bit?
Yeah, you can borrow.
All right. Am I the only one that's going to buy the all-digital console here? Because I think I am.
No,
you are.
Well, I think
Adam probably will.
I don't want paper cuts.
Okay. So Adam's with me then.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Carlos is right. Go ahead, Brett. What about you?
I'm buying the real one.
Oh, the real one.
I'm buying the real one.
Brett,
it's the one they showed first, so it's the real one.
Yeah. Brett, which one you getting? Mr. Murdoch. He's probably
I'm at the gas station, so hold on.
Okay.
I'll
come back to you. Carlos, you getting you getting physical? I remember you saying.
Yeah, I'm getting the physical so I can take advantage of the remastering engine.
Yeah.
Chris said he was going to get the disc version.
Yeah, he did. He wanted. Yeah, he said that on the Thursday show that he wants his movies. Brian, if you buy PlayStation 5, you want the physical or digital?
Physical. Like I do not trust Sony with the pricing on digital games. Somehow digital games cost more than the physical games sometimes, and it's like, fuck that.
Did you give us a price, Brian?
No, he will now.
I did on the Thursday show. Like the one right after, I said 450, 500.
All right.
Because I don't think.
Oh, so you're the one. You're the only one that thinks it's going to be a $50 increment.
Yeah, I just don't see $100 difference between just the disk drive.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I for the record, I wanted to say 4 and 450, but since they don't do 50s in America, that's why I went to 500. Because Brian, you're right. For $100 difference for a disk drive is a lot, but it's very rare where you see 50 for a console price or 49. Well, they would do
$49.99. They would do that. They wouldn't do 50.
Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because my answer was I did want to say $399 and $449, but I don't see $449.
You know what the other issue, and this is why, and maybe this is the same thing with Tony. With the reason why there's no point for physical is because the disc is obsolete with all the patches and everything that we get. That shit doesn't even work out the box. So even if you were to have your console unplugged and put it in, it'd have all kinds of fucking issues.
Yeah, you're right about that. You can't even play half the games you own.
Yeah, that's it. And then it'll require you to go online to check. And it's like, fuck. So there's no point.
Yeah, no. My main reason for all digital is because like the games take up the same amount of hard drive space. I buy Nintendo Switch games physical. You know why? Because they don't take up space. If the games didn't take up space in the hard drive or as much space, I would keep buying physical. But there's absolutely no reason for me to buy physical at all.
Yeah.
So
it doesn't make me happy.
It's a waste of money.
Yeah. I used to get so excited when I used to get a new game. The big manual, the colors, all this stuff.
You don't even get that anymore.
You don't get that. No, you don't.
That's the other reason why physical sucks. Like, you don't get anything for it.
Yeah. And then the days of gotta say, with what happens with the Switch, where you could just pop it in and play it, and it's good to go. Those days are gone. Like you said, you got to install the whole shit to play it.
Yeah, it's stupid.
So there's no point. Yeah,
because at the beginning of PS4,
okay,
there you go, Brett. Okay, so what are your prices?
My prices are 5 and 6. I think you guys are all not listening to Carlos because he's fucking hit the nail on the head. What they're going to do is, in order to not catch they're price gouging people, and this is a ridiculous price, they're going to say, here's a diskless option that you can afford. And even the way it's engineered, just by nothing changing, them just not having a disc in there, shows that it's not necessarily a different design or a different SKU. It's cutting corners to save costs. And why would they do that? Well, because it's going to be a cost issue. It's an expensive thing to manufacture. As you said, it's going to be $450. Yeah, they can take a loss on it, but that idea is 20 years old, Tony. Like, they didn't take a loss on the last one. Taking a loss on a console to sell software is not really a thing.
Actually, they did take a loss on PS4 for the first year. It took about a year for that console to become profitable. Actually selling it, because they were selling at a loss too.
How much?
I don't know how much, but they were taking a hit. I don't think it was.
I remember hearing about that at one point, but I thought it was only a few dollars. I didn't think it was a $50 per unit difference. $50 per unit is a fucking.
No, it definitely is. But no, you're right. Like, the last time where it really was a big hit was the PS3 era, but it's still a thing, selling at a loss. To re-up.
We think it's a thing. Like, each generation actually changes, man. Like, the way things used to be, like, generations are far enough apart that what happened 3 is kind of irrelevant now. But my point is that it's all about marketing. It's all about how you deliver that message. And the sweetest wrapper, the best wrapper paper you can put that in, is, oh no, we've got a console that's in your price range and what you're used to paying. It just doesn't have a disc drive. And who uses disc drives anymore anyway? That's going to be their point. And so that's why I'm saying it's going to be a 5 and a 6. If I had this with the PS3, like, it's not an unreasonable number. And again, I know I talk about inflation and shit like that, but like, money isn't the same as it used to be. So them talking about a $500 and $600 console now, 2 generations later, and however many years, like 15 years later or whatever, I don't find that surprising. And I see it exactly as kind of like, why, if Carlos is wrong on their pitch on why they're doing this, why the fuck are they making a diskless drive anyway? Also, and I know I'm going a lot here, but I have some shit put up. Yes, $50 for a disk drive is ridiculous if you're only looking at parts, Brian. You're looking at it as a PC gamer who can build their own PCs. You're like, this thing's worth like $13. Yeah, but then there's going to be the markup to put it in the system. There always is. There's a tax that comes on that. Even if you have somebody build your PC, yeah, it's going to be $50 at least. It's going to be more than $50 to put in a hard drive thing. If you have the fucking service people do it, So yeah, I don't think that they're just adding a disk drive. It will be $100 more just for the disk drive. Why? Because they can.
Yeah, no, I agree with on that.
Can I respond to Brett?
Yes. It's awesome.
Yep.
So, all right, so you think people?
agree.
Right. So, on that logic, do you think people will jump on this $599 one at that price?
You know what? Hold on, before you answer that, I'm going to jump over to Mebs because that's actually literally his question. Literally his question. His next question is it still unreasonable to have a $600 console given that people spend almost twice that on a mobile phone? I have something to say about that, but anyway.
I got to.
Yeah. Go ahead.
You're right. People do pay, but they don't pay outright.
Thank you. You know, by the way, that's the biggest fallacy I've heard. Like, people pay $1,000 for a phone. Don't pay $600 for a console. No one pays $600.
Compare it to a TV.
They do payment.
Yeah, listen.
Hold on, Adam. Hold on. Compare it to a TV. I know that people always want to compare it to a cell phone.
You can still do payments on a TV. You can still do payments.
What's that?
Target.
Yeah, you can. If you go to. Okay, but who gives you those payments? Is it Samsung or is it the store?
It's the store.
Yeah, so it's not up to Sony to make a payment plan for you. It's up to the fucking store if you don't want to spend $600.
Microsoft has their own, and they're doing it, so Sony could easily do it. There's no way.
It's not up to them. Like, I don't understand why that's a privilege thing, man. Like, I don't understand why people.
We're in a recession. They want to sell consoles. You got to do what all the other big boys do. Samsung and Apple, what they've been doing. And just
Samsung and Apple don't have their own payment plans. It was Apple because they have their own fucking credit card, man.
Yeah, they don't. The Apple, all those phones don't actually have their own payment plan. It's a service that has it. So, like, I mean,
I don't even need the phone.
Like, yeah, like
why do we compare these to phones? I don't understand this.
Your cell phone
I don't
service
either,
actually,
but as everybody does it, you know. As a matter of fact, Brett,
everybody puts it.
Your cell phone service actually does it, but not the actual cell phone.
No. I know. Hold on. I'm not talking about something like. I'm asking why everybody else is talking about cell phones. It has nothing to do with.
They always do. Hold on. Let me
finish.
Let me finish. Go ahead, Brett.
Cell phones are not the same thing. They do not feel the same social or any of the niches that a cell phone does. A cell phone is your nexus to the world. It helps you get employment. It helps you get groceries. It is the single most important thing in your life. Your console sits in your living room and is an entertainment thing, just like your TV. Compare it to things like their TV, except, what's this? You spend $1,000 on your TV, all thinking about it, suddenly the argument doesn't hold up. Compare apples to apples, and suddenly the argument falls apart.
I see. That is a better one though, because think about it like this. And Brett, this is adding to your point, right? You need a cell phone to live, basically, to function in society. You don't need a fucking console, and you actually don't even need a TV. So they kind of do fall under the same umbrella.
Then you can also say with furniture. And if you've gone to buy any large amount of furniture, they still offer payment plans because they know it's a large purchase. You go to buy a car. The car
but the sofa company does it, and Nissan
$30,000 up front. They know it's a cost. So they're like, hey, we will work with you, or we have banks that work with us to work with you. They know this.
Again, a car is a necessity. It's not comparing the same thing. And even then, it's not the company giving you the payment plan. It's the dealer. And if the dealers want to give look, you can already buy an Xbox now on layaway. What's the bitching about? Why would you want Sony to do this? Why is Sony responsible for doing this when literally you hold nobody else accountable to?
They're all accountable. Who's not? They're all accountable. We're saying this.
Dude, when you go to a furniture store, when you go to a furniture store and you buy furniture and you get it on a payment plan, do you think the manufacturers of the furniture are the one giving you that payment plan, or it's the furniture store giving you that payment plan?
They're the ones that are approving it. They could easily say, no, we don't want no fucking payment plans here. You come here to shop, you pay outright. They could easily do that. They don't have to work with you.
No, they can't. And no, they don't.
Oh my God.
No, they don't. Dude, do you not know how retail works? They buy the product.
They will not. They take cash and credit, and they need it in full. None of this bullshit payment plan because they don't partner up. Go to used car dealerships. They'll tell you which ones they work with and which banks they don't work with.
Which banks? Because the car dealership wants to get paid up front.
It's up to their discretion. That's what I'm saying. They don't have to do any of this. We're talking about this to help Sony. We're not talking about this to hurt.
No. Okay, when you go to, and this isn't even on topic, when you go to a car dealership, they're partnered with a bank. It is not the car dealership giving you.
He's cutting out.
Yeah, he cut out.
Oh, but you cut out.
Yeah, he's been having.
Name me other companies
Well, I mean, he is coming
that do their own financing.
All right, he's back. He's back.
Name me other companies that do their own financing in-house and not source it out.
What do you mean? There's a bunch of companies that do it, but the whole point is, why will the consoles do it? And we've already seen one console manufacturer do it, so we definitely know that it should be something considered by Sony. Why should they not consider it? This helps them sell.
Because literally nobody else does it.
Because what? We
because
just
when
talked
Sam,
about it. We just talked about it. Even
Dude.
Sony, Microsoft is doing it. So why not do it? It's working for them. It could work for Sony. I don't see a negative. There's no negative side to it. I don't see it. You're making it seem like
the negative is you're fucking expecting it, and it's entitled, man.
I'm thinking entitled for what? Entitled for them to make money? Yes, I want them to be profitable. I want all companies to make it in this world.
No. You're sitting there like, well, that console's too expensive. I'm not going to buy it unless you institute a payment.
First of all, no, that's not what I said. I said I'm not buying it because there's no reason to get it. That everybody heard me say it. I have no reason to get it. I don't see anything enticing me to get it. And second, I said if they want to sell it to a mass market during a fucking recession, then you got to offer some options on how to purchase this item. And it would make more sense to say, hey, let's do payment plans. We are looking out for you. We see shit fucking hard. And like you said, a console is not a necessity. It's not like a phone. So why the hell should somebody go out and buy it? $600 for fucking console. For what?
That's
so you say, hey, we're going to make it easier for you to do that choice. $29.99 a month.
Dude, literally, I understand what you're saying, and I understand what a payment plan is. But when you go to the Furniture Mart and you come back, or when you buy it, they do not call the sofa manufacturer and be like, "Hey, sofa manufacturer, should we let this guy go on rent and then we'll pay you the $30 a month?" The sofa company, we will pay you the $30 a month and we'll pass it along, and eventually in 2 years you'll get paid. No. They say, we will take on that pay. They buy the sofa. They put the charge on you, and you make the payments to Nebraska Furniture Mart, not the sofa. If you buy a TV, you don't make payments to Sony. You're making payments to Nebraska Furniture Mart or Best Buy or wherever the fuck you bought it from. Mm-hmm. Literally, this is not the manufacturer's problem.
Let's see how many people go to Rent-A-Center then.
No,
dude, and that's fine. That's literally Rent-A-Center's thing. I don't know why you're laying this on Sony's feet.
I'm not laying on Sony's feet. I'm to give them an option to try to sell more to the average.
Yeah, it's not their responsibility. It is the retailer's responsibility.
It is to the shareholders to offer all options that they can to sell as many consoles as possible.
I think Adam, I think your plan, while it's good in nature, it's kind of redundant because the biggest retailers are Amazon, Best Buy, at least for the consoles. Amazon, Best Buy, Walmart, Target. All of them provide payment plans for anything you buy.
Yeah, they do.
So no one.
So why does Sony do it?
We're talking because they can do it direct. They can.
But no one. Where's the Sony store? Where are people going to go to the
website?
Is little Timmy going to drive up to the Sony store in Iowa? There's no Sony store in Iowa.
Yeah, that is true.
It's like, maybe only online, but you can do that on Amazon. You can do that on the Best Buy website, So, like, having payment plans, it's already a thing.
It is a thing. But
if you want a payment plan, you can do it on pretty much all the major retailers.
All right. We'll see. Because remember the whole backlash with the whole thing with the 600, and there were still payment plan options back then, and still people bitched. So if they're gonna come up with that number, they got to come up with another way to spin it.
People are gonna bitch because the sky's blue, man.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on because again we got a lot of questions tonight. Next up is Agent Redshirt. What do you think of the all-digital version of the PlayStation 5? Is it Sony's answer to the Lockhart? I don't know if you could be an answer to a system that's still a rumor. We still don't know if Lockhart's real or not. So we have to see about that.
Yeah, we don't know if Lockhart's real or not. So.
Yeah. By the way,
it is interesting though seeing Sony essentially put their foot out first on the old digital next gen console.
I was frankly surprised when I saw that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, how do you all just forget that the Xbox All One Digital was a thing? Like,
well, yeah, they did, but that
like
also
they
that's-
literally went there first. Like, I don't understand how you can say that. Yeah, okay.
No,
you say that they are the
that's
first
why
to
I
have
said the
about
next
that,
gen.
yeah.
That's why I said next gen.
Okay, next
Brian.
gen.
That's why I said next gen.
Yeah, man. It
Yes,
did next gen.
I am
in
not
the-
that
in the-
surprised.
but in the
I was
in the-
surprised. I'm sorry, Manny. I was surprised just because you know how the PlayStation Go Pro and you know how that shit flopped. Is like I was like Sony's not gonna do that anytime soon. You know, remember they tried to put out the all digital version of the PSP and everybody said fuck that shit. I
Yeah,
want my
the
physical.
But dude,
PlayStation
this
Go.
is how you sell it.
You know?
Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the beauty of this whole thing. This is how you sell a full digital system. The same way they realize, like, you can't push this shit on people. What you can do is make it easier for them, and people like Tony eventually gravitate on their own. And then if you give them just a little bit of incentive, like, dude, you really don't even need that disk drive. Like, how often are you downloading games? Like, really? Or how often are you playing physical games? Like, really, just go ahead and do it. And that's great for fucking Sony because they sell more direct digital games and make a higher profit. This kind of fucks over the middleman Walmart to the point where Walmart and Target, the big box stores, can't really say anything because they're very subtly pushing it. And it also helps people to go to an all-digital platform, which, again, is more profitable.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
They're charging you we'll charge you $100 tax for something that is essentially useless if you really want it. But otherwise, the system is completely affordable.
Yeah.
That's the message that they're going to pitch.
Yeah, but remember, Tony is just saying, "Oh yeah, the digital one's just an option." They're pitching the main disc one as the main system. Just you know.
Yeah. You would too. That's the smart business thing. But you know the digital system is going to be the thing.
Is it?
You know,
though? Again, just based on what our
Dude,
fans
it
said, our
is.
fans were like, "Fuck that shit. We want the physical one." You know.
Oh, no, he's saying that Sony want to push the all digital one because at least if they do, then they have full control over the price of games.
Oh no, I don't disagree with your logic. I'm saying at this moment in time, Sony is not pushing it as much as the actual one. You know, the physical one.
A $100 discount is about as hard as you can push as a
Well,
company.
we don't know the
without
pricing
pissing
yet. We
people
don't
off.
know the pricing. At this
I
very
know,
moment.
I know. But in theory, if the price difference is $100, because it's probably not going to be $50. If the price difference is $100, it's people. You giving somebody $100 off something, especially a system where a thing like this, in an effort to don't have this disk drive, you can't really push any harder than that without insisting. And when you insist, the customer pushes back. So honestly, I don't see them being able to push digital any harder than the approach that they're taking right now without having a Connect style backlash.
I guess we'll have to see when the pricing come up. But I agree, it's going to be $100 difference just because they can do it. Yeah. By the way, Brett, your connection's been funky today, boy. I don't know if
He's on the road. He's driving.
Yeah.
Oh, you're driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just.
That's fair enough. Oh, by the way, so people just forgive Brett. He's driving. It's all good. Anyway, Brett, go ahead, Brett.
Yeah. I'm not missing this fucking thing. Even if I got shit to do.
My man.
So does anybody else think like what $100 incentive is about as hard as you can give somebody to go all digital? Does anybody disagree with that?
No, I don't
feel like
disagree
Tony
with that.
is.
No, I'm not disagreeing.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I'm saying at this very moment, I'm not seeing that.
Okay.
You could be right.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Oh.
I'm going to make a prediction. And I'm probably going to eat crow and lose a bet for this because I know somebody's going to take me up on this. But the digital numbers for the digital only numbers are going to be higher on the PS5.
How long? Like what's
6
the time
months.
frame? In the first
6
6 months?
Yep.
Well, I think it'll come down to what is accessible at the time because they said there was going to be a shortage. What was it, like 500,000 or something like that?
Yeah.
So
You got to let them get it. You also have to account for the first wave of people are going to buy more physical because they're the hardcore people, and the hardcore people are going to buy physical.
That's why. Are you sure you want to go with the first 6 months?
But
okay, let's go sales month 3 to 6. How's that?
But also with the shortage.
Brett, by the way, I just want you to know this is me trying to help you out right now. You should give yourself a year, man.
I will forget about it by a year, but yeah. I mean, I'd like to see the sustained sales because they're going to hit a supply issue for a little while.
Yes.
But once that's evened out, the casuals are going to at first you're going to see a skyrocket of physical, disk drives, and then as the casuals start to bleed in the next little bit, as they become more available, they're going to be digital. But everybody who plays Call of Duty is going to buy a digital one because they only have one game to play on it.
Yeah. By the way,
But
Brett,
what we don't know.
yeah. Brett, remember how we talked about how I don't break embargoes? I actually have honor. That was me being honorable again. you were walking into a bet you were about to lose, and I was like, Brett, don't do it, man. I'm helping you out here, brother. Because you're right. The first 6 months, the physical one's going to be the one that sells out most. In the long term, could be the digital.
But we don't know. We don't know when they said about the shortage. Is it count for both of them or just one of them?
Oh,
I think it's going to count for both of them.
I think it's going to count for both. Yeah, but the question is, which one are they going to manufacture more of?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, if they're going to if there's, oh, go ahead, Manny.
I think it's going to be straight down the middle.
You think so?
They're splitting it down the middle, where it's like one of one and one of the other. Because again, they say there's going to have a shortage. Yeah. So
no, I know that, but do you think they? This is just me speculating, right? Do you think they may be anticipating that people want the physical and then manufacture more of those?
I think they'll go based on pre-orders.
I mean, yeah. Are pre-orders open pre-orders,
right now? Yeah.
No, not yet.
But the thing is, because they're manufacturing now, we know that. Yeah, it's going to be, so I think we have to give it a good year, because the first batch is definitely going to be physical. It's going to be the one that sells the most, because, again, the hardcore guys want the physical shit. Moving on, our favorite, Joe Blow. I think Joe Blow, we want the digital one just because it's cheaper,
Well, I mean, the only thing is that
Joe Blow got
Joe Blow may. There's also a good chance that regular Joe Blow may not even understand that he can't stick a fucking disc in the damn thing.
Yeah. By the way,
like, yo, man, I bought this shit, and the disc. I bought the game and the console, and it don't even work.
Yeah.
No. By the way, Tony, I just want to say one thing.
Yes.
If this were Xbox, I would have won that bet.
Oh yeah, easily. Because they did actually do that.
They've launched with 2 SKUs.
We don't know about the Series X, but the last one did. Yeah.
No, PlayStation is launching with 2 SKUs. If we had bet over PlayStation and not Xbox, I would have won that bet.
That is right. Yeah. Damn. Yeah, because I was like, 2 SKUs? Oh shit, this is crazy. I wasn't expecting that. You're right about that.
You dodged a bullet, son.
Yeah. I was gonna make a comment on what Manny said. Now I completely forgot it. Oh wow.
Yo man, I bought the game and it just don't work.
By the way, Manny's joking, but that's actually not a joke. The biggest question that Windows Central received about the Xbox SAT edition was, can I play my disc on it?
Yep.
Think about that. People were asking, can
the all digital on the front of the box
play discs?
There's no picture.
And I guarantee, Manny, I guarantee you, people are going to ask that same question about the all digital PlayStation.
They're going to ask the same thing about they're all going to do about the whole digital PlayStation, and they're going to do it with the, because again, it's supposed to be backward compatible. What about all those guys that have essentially, still, sort of like me, or still have actual physical games? All those physical games from the PlayStation 4 are sort of moot now. And PlayStation is not going to give you not going to give you a gimme.
Yo, you know what's going to happen, Manny? When you go, hey, wait a minute, what if I want to buy the all digital version and I want to, play my old disc? You know what's going to happen, right? Don Matrix turns up. Well, we have another console for that.
Yeah, we have another console for that.
You know what? That's probably a smart move on their end for doing the digital, because they go based off of the sales. They can see their digital sales. Remember, we were seeing these crazy numbers when it came to downloads for Call of Duty. So there is an audience that they're seeing that say, hey, majority of their games that they're buying, because they can see our profiles, are digital. So these are most likely the people that will be okay because they can get it. And then, of course, and
the trends are going up. Trends are going up every year. That digital games are selling more and more every single year.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so they'll be fine. And if you're a physical person, it just makes sense to keep going physical because you got all your discs already up on the shelf.
Exactly. Quickly, Pac Dan says, I wish my grandma was a gamer. It was a gamer grandma. That's funny. Hey, you should be happy your grandma is actually alive, bro. How about that?
You heard about the gamer grandma? They were attacking her hard. The Skyrim grandma? Oh, my Lord.
Oh, by the way, she debunked that. She said she wasn't getting attacked. It was the headline that made that shit.
No, but that was the headline of attack. She was getting attacked for not being attacked.
Oh my God! That was
the bullshit. Like they were the people making it seem like, oh, you were stirring shit up to build numbers and making fake. What? Come on now, she don't give a shit. She's just playing games.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm glad you're happy that your grandma's alive. Both of my grandmas died before I was born, so be grateful, son.
Yeah, no, same here.
It's as a matter of fact, 3 because four grandparents and shit. 3 of them were already dead before I was born. I only knew one papito. Where the fuck are we? All right, next up, Roman Ronin. All right, which PS5 hardware design choice, we're talking about the PlayStation 5, which hardware design choice was more radical change from previous generations, making it a white dominant color or having curves? He goes, his answer is curves. Yeah, it looks slick, but I was concerned that it was going to be a vertical only machine, but it's actually not. I'm going to say the white is more of a radical departure for Sony because we had curved PlayStations. Look at the PlayStation 3. You know, that should look like a George Foreman grill. You know,
the 3 was a George Foreman's grill, but the 3 didn't need the 3 didn't need a stand to stand in both modes, which the PlayStation
what's up with
5
that?
does.
I didn't notice that when it's horizontal, it still needs a damn stand.
Yeah, it has a stand with a groove in it, so it sits. So when you put it vertical, it sticks right into it. But then when you turn it horizontal, it's also shaped circular so that you can stick that crazy rounded edge on there. So in other words, you need the stand regardless of what way you put it.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
I can't wait for my cats to step on one side of it and it just goes flying off my fucking console here, off one of my shelves. Unless they have some sort of magnet system on there that keeps it attached to it.
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work. So yeah, the curves are not really the big point of the big crazy thing. It's the coloring scheme. Because PlayStation's always had a solid color. The first one was all gray, and then they've all been black after that. You know.
Yeah, I would have been cool if it was just all white. Then that black strip in there just throws everything.
You know what?
off.
Going back to what Manny said about the Dreamcast, I think that was probably why I was okay with it because it was at least one color. You know. And Super Nintendo had some purple in there, but it was white. Brian, what were you saying?
Also, you need to consider the PS1. Not the PlayStation 1, but the PS1. The weird, smaller PlayStation that fits in your hand. That was also curved as well. It was curved. You guys remember that, right? The PS1?
Don't. What's the PS1?
Yeah, it's the round,
the smaller
like,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. They titled it the PS1 as like PS.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, not the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Fucking naming.
Yes.
Yeah, that was also curved.
Yeah. So curving, Sony's done curves. It's the coloring that they haven't done before. All their systems have always been a single color. You know. It's going to be interesting.
I think it's the two-tone that makes it the more drastic kind of thing.
That's what I just said.
Well, I thought you were talking about just the white part.
Yeah, no, it's the two-tone is, I mean, you could call it white. No, it's the two-tone. That's weird, That is weird.
Yeah. If it was all white, and I don't think it would have been that bad. It's just something about it. Just the contrast is too strong of a contrast.
Somebody made like a digital mock-up. They just made it all black. It looks so fucking good, I wish it was black, but it still had the blue shit.
It's all an illusion.
By the way, did you guys see some of the mock-ups of how tall this fucking thing is? This is the biggest console ever released. It's like Shin Godzilla big.
It's a full board in there.
In terms of height, it is going to be approximately, I think, like 15 inches tall.
Jesus.
Or 38 centimeters. Sorry, 17 inches. I don't know. Wow. Wherever 38 centimeters is in inches, that's how big it is. So more than a foot long. So basically, it will be the longest / tallest console ever made.
How many centimeters, Brian?
Around 37, 38 centimeters.
That's 15 inches.
Damn.
Okay, yeah. That's a big boy.
That's a big boy. That's a big boy.
And that's only just to those stupid white things that stick off of it. Remember that's not actually the height of the console. The actual console is underneath that. It's the black area in between.
They usually have a custom motherboard. I think this isn't going to be a custom.
They just threw the fucking graphics card in there.
Yeah, they just got a fucking Asus motherboard and just like, here we go.
I just measured the PS4 Pro. It's a little less than 13 inches in height.
Interesting.
On standard.
Damn it! I lost my train of thought again. Oh yeah, the white part of the PlayStation and the white part of the console, like it actually has like texturing on it, and it's actually the PlayStation buttons, X's and squares and all that shit. Kind of interesting.
Just how much sweat and grime is going to stick to those weird grooves?
We will get to that because we actually have a question about that. Oh man. All right, next up is Mob Hits once again. Okay, Sony stated at the beginning of their showcase that everything shown was running on a PlayStation 5. With that being said, a few of those games looked suspect, like Demon Souls. Do you guys agree? So he basically wants to know, do we think those games were actually running on PS5 technology? Or actually PS5 periods?
Here's the thing, like, yes, they can still be running on PlayStation 5, and they can still run them at really, at the best. If there's no AI or anything running, yes, of course, it'll look amazing. But, like Horizon Zero Dawn, that I'm sure was, I'm sure they just were running that on a PlayStation 5 dev kit. But again, no AI, no nothing. So you have the best. You can put all your calculation, onto making images look pretty. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
It's the big difference is actually seeing the game running with AI, with all the different other bells and whistles that are running underneath the hood. That's that's when you start seeing it. Granted, Resident Evil did have frame skipping, where the frame rate went down.
So that was actually running, in real time. Then,
if you watch that trailer, so I mean, it was not running. It wasn't running great.
Yeah. So yeah, it's probably running off a dev kit, But like Manny said, some games may look better than they actually will be because they're not really showing you the full game. It's just a vertical slice, as they call it.
I mean, to be honest, it's not even a vertical slice. For most of those things, they were just like, like especially for Horizon, that was just a cinematic. It was just a trailer. A lot of those things were trailers. I mean, the only real gameplay we kind of did see was what's that one?
Ratchet and Clank.
And of course we're going to see a little bit of Resident Evil because that's going to be on everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But that crazy space game that they had with the fucking astronaut and the robot girl,
2021. That's going to be a long time before we see that. And maybe did they say the Unreal Engine? Did they say the engine it's running on? Because that could definitely be.
No, they didn't say anything about it.
They didn't say anything about it, but yeah, I mean, granted, what was it? Konami. I mean, not Konami. Capcom has. I mean, I don't know how many games have been running on Unreal. They've kind of just been running things on the MT framework and the Resident Evil engine. So I mean, the RE engine. So maybe there's a good chance that could
Capcom,
be RE engine.
Correct me if I'm wrong. They don't have games on Unreal. The only one I could think of is
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter.
Street Fighter's Unreal.
It's Unreal.
Okay,
yeah.
It's Unreal. Okay.
And then everything else. Yeah. So far, everything.
Devil May Cry, the new one.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry.
I was going to say that was going to be my answer. The only Capcom I don't know if that ran on Unreal was Devil May Cry, but that was Ninja Theory. That's their engine, basically.
Yeah. DMC. Any of the again, Street Fighter's been on Unreal.
Yeah, I think 5 is.
Other
on
than
Unreal,
that,
right? Yeah.
5 is on Unreal, and then Monster Hunter's running on MT Framework, which is the old engine.
Mm-hmm. I think. What about Street Fighter 4? Was that MT? I think that was. I could be wrong though.
No, it wasn't. Oh wait, no. 4 was. 4 was MT Framework. In fact, they said because of the way the game was designed that they couldn't do certain things with it. Essentially, add updates or something like that. Remember, they were saying that they couldn't do that, so that's why there had to be Champion Edition and all those other versions of Street Fighter 4.
Yeah. Even though they eventually ended up doing that with Street Fighter 5 anyway, Oh man. Yeah. All right, let's move on here. Casa de Fonz, aka our boy Fonzie. His first question is: do you think that the PlayStation 5's venting system is going to be a problem with dust and cleaning it out? I said that on the show on Thursday. I'm like, I don't know about that. My thing is not really so much the venting. It's the, Brian, this goes back to what we were just talking about. Like, I think all those grooves and shit, it's going to attract dust and leave them stuck in there and shit. So I don't know, especially if this thing heats up a lot, which I suspect it will. And there's just too many nooks and crannies. So I think this thing could get very, very, fucked up unless you cover it at night before you go to bed, But the venting, I don't know.
I don't think the venting will be an issue. I mean, you just can take some compressed air and you kind of blow it through and you're good. I mean, it looks like the whole fucking inside of the top and the bottom of the thing are vents.
Yeah.
Like, in other words, underneath that white thing, it's all vents, and underneath that is all vents. In fact,
it's good. Hopefully, be quiet.
It has more vents than the PlayStation 4. Either one of it, because they just had that one vent in the back.
Yeah, I think they did that to offset the noise that fucking thing makes. You know,
it's so fucking loud.
Like you hear that shit, it's like it's about to take off to Mars.
With the okay, I don't know if that's inlet or outlet, but on the PS4, if you put your finger like between like the two pieces of bread, if you want to put it that way, you can feel like the small holes. So either on either side. So I'm guessing that those on the side are inlet, and the ones at the back is outlet.
Yeah.
Even then, it's a tiny ass port to the back for heat. It's like Jesus. Yeah, with the PS5, again, I just hope that it is quiet. I'm willing to deal with all sorts of stupid looking things as long as it's quiet and it keeps cool. Because those, as we've seen, heat just kills consoles. I mean, that's why we had the Red Ring of Death. Like, the thing just overheated and went to shit. So, yeah, I don't care how dumb it looks. This is why with the Xbox One X, I wasn't really caring that the whole top is just one giant vent. Because, like, hey, that's fine. As long as the damn thing is quiet, that's all that matters.
Yeah, so hopefully dust and all that other shit won't be too much of an issue, you know? Cover your system up at night, man. That's all I'm going to say about that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the one thing about it is like, yeah, all those little circle, square circles and triangles on there, probably they look like they're inlet, so they're probably going to collect dust whenever
they're going to
gets
collect
in there.
dust and grime and all this other shit.
So you're going to actually see them much better as your console gets older.
Yeah, man, especially since it's white, you know.
Yeah, since it's white, because I would, if it was I wouldn't be too concerned about the dust on it. If it was kind of a smooth surface, because white surfaces usually don't look, when dust collects on them, if you have a dusty desk, it doesn't look too bad if you're white. But on a black console, you see all that dust everywhere.
It'll be interesting. All right, moving on to the next question from Mr. Fonzie. Will we be able to remove the PlayStation 5 side panels? For some reason, they look removable. Customization would be great in regards to that. We don't know.
we don't know. I mean, they did like a fly around on it, kind of, but really close. But you couldn't see how anything sort of came together.
I think one of the sides would have to open because they said you could insert another hard drive.
Did they say that?
Yeah, before when they that first one. That first video when the guy was talking about the SSDs and swapping them for bigger sizes.
Oh, okay. But by the way, I'm glad you said it because this is what I think. I think if you're going to be able to move anything, it's going to be the top of it, quote unquote top, because you're not going to be able to move the disk drive part of it. You know what I'm saying?
But
the top one makes sense to me.
I know they said about installing it and that it would have a way that you could open it up and take it. And then Microsoft has its own cradle system. They're bringing back the cradle system for the drive. So I don't know if it's going to come with a hard drive and a cradle, or if it's just going to be like you get the cradle, it's already there, and you have to get a hard drive and you stick it in the cradle and you slide it in. So, but they definitely, on the PlayStation during that first boring event, he did say that we would be able to swap out hard drives. So if that's the case, then one of the panels at least has to open.
One of them has to. Yeah,
my guess it would be the top, the side that doesn't have the disk drive in it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
because, maybe you just pull it up and then and you can kind of get it out. But yeah, that would actually be interesting.
That would be cool, actually.
Because if you can remove the wings off of the PlayStation 4. Maybe they can actually do something where they actually. Well, actually, no, you probably can't, especially on the disc edition of it.
So that means that when we eventually do get the PS5 Slim, it'll be the size of a PS4.
Right? Unless that's not the case. Unless somehow you insert it in the back, like some sort of slot that comes out, because. Isn't it with the PS4 to like upgrade the drive? You can like remove some sort of covering, and then that's what hides the drive. Again, I've never done it on my PS4, so I have no idea.
I forgot how, because I did it too.
In the old PlayStation 4, you just remove the shiny part of the PlayStation 4 to put the new drive in.
In this PS4,
in the Pro, and the the new versions, I don't know how to remove the drive on those.
Yeah, I did remove the drive, but it's been so many years, I forgot how I did that.
I did on both. You just slide the panel. It's the top part.
I removed it like,
and that's it. Yeah, you just slide it open, and it removes.
Yeah, it's in the back. It's in the back.
Okay, so then I would guess that maybe it's not the whole panel that comes off, because the issue that I have with that is you get many people that will just pop it off, and then, well, sorry. The thing that went through my head was the idea of the warranty, because usually these consoles say, "Hey, if you move this part, then warranty is void."
They did that that was for PS3. That they you void the warranty if you remove the hard drive. But being the original PlayStation 4 had that little thing on there, I don't think it did that.
No, it didn't.
No, it had.
I thought it did.
But I'm sure that there are like some places that you can't remove, and it voids the warranty.
No, the 4 doesn't.
Nope.
If only there was someone in this room that had a PS4.
Right.
Well, I mean, I'm looking at somebody replacing a PS4 thing right now, and it's like super easy. You just remove the shiny part of it, and then you pull out the hard drive.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to do it. They show you even on the PlayStation's website.
Okay,
I don't know how to do it.
I am not talking about like the drive part. I mean like the whole side panel. Like if you were to like remove like the whole top part, like the full top half of the sandwich, then I'm sure that will void the warranty.
Anything unscrewing, yes. If it requires unscrewing, that's it.
So my thought is, it seems very odd that they would have the whole side of the PS5 that can be popped off just for like a slim stick, because then you expose quite a lot of the internals, and hence it's prone to damage. So I'm assuming that either be the back part where you slide it in, or something with the back part where there's some sort of casing that you remove, you insert, and that's it. The whole side panel just seems way too risky, because again, we know that there'll be dumbasses that just like accidentally pop it off and they spill some milk in there or something. So I don't know. I'm just thinking that it's way too much of a risk for Sony to have the whole side panel removed and then just expose like half the console to nonsense. Just for like a slim stick, no bigger than like a stick of gum or something. I don't know.
I guess I gotta check the the Mark Cerny press conference again, because maybe he went into detail with that, but
he didn't. He didn't specify where or how or anything. No, he just said it's just upgrade, and that's it.
He said you could definitely upgrade for a bigger hard drive at a later date when they start making them more accessible. Because he said it is a proprietary design.
Because you got to take into account this is an NVMe or whatever that thing is, the M2 SSD, which is directly connected to your motherboard. It's not like something you can just put a SATA cable somewhere and stick it in the back. It's not like a hard drive. So they're gonna have to get creative and like to have it in a way where you don't have to pull apart your whole console to to install a new SSD.
Mm-hmm.
Or they could have something like a SIM card tray for like the NVMe drive, where you pull out a part in the back, you get like some sort of
like a cradle.
Yeah, and then like you put it on like a SIM card tray, but bigger.
Yeah. Well, that's what it looks like when Microsoft they released their image of how it's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like. Yeah, it's like a little slide, and they're like, "Oh yeah, drive here," and you plug it in, and then Uncle Phil goes woohoo, and then it turns on.
Yeah. By the way, I just checked. Yeah, you do not void your warranty on PlayStation 4. As a matter of fact, Sony tells you this themselves when they show you how to actually remove it.
Yep.
And I also found out that because I found this through a Reddit post, people are fucking assholes. So this guy asked, "Hey, will I void my warranty?" And the guy goes, "No. Why don't you Google it next time instead of asking here?" Like, what the fuck is wrong?
Well, that's
you?
Reddit for you.
Yeah, fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Hey, they're not all bad. You can't throw everybody under the bus like that.
That shit is funny. You guys like, why don't you Google it?
You guys love me. We're family. Thank you. Hit me up.
I have a question.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking at the video right now of the. God damn, this shit's got 21 million views.
Damn.
The PS5 hardware thing.
Yo, will that be sales though?
Did they show the back?
Did they? I think
Yeah,
they
they
did for
do.
a quick second. Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
Well, all the ports.
No, that was the front.
I
That
don't
was the
remember.
front.
no, they do.
They showed the
shoot
back.
They
show
showed the
back
USB-C and the USB, which is at the front. They never shown the back because
No.
I don't remember seeing any outlets or Ethernet or USB, sorry, HDMI power or anything like that.
Nope.
That the part where like it's all smooth and then like the holes, that's the front part. So there's one
Gotcha.
USB-C and one USB basic.
That weird ass design. I can't tell what the front or the back is. You know.
And also, a thing that I noticed is if you look on the PS5, the bottom two buttons. The bottom one is power. The one above that is eject. Because if you look on the digital one, it only has one button for obvious reasons. Yeah, cool, right?
Yeah, that is actually kind of cool, actually.
So hopefully these are actual button ones.
Which button I press to order pizza? Like, is that on the back?
Well, they don't have that on. The only Xbox offers that.
Oh fuck! All right.
That's the exclusive, by the way.
Yes.
Oh,
all right, man. Let's move on. We got Axel Wolf in the house. All right.
Yo.
All right. During the PlayStation 5 reveal, they announced Grand Theft Auto 5 was being enhanced for the PlayStation 5. PlayStation gave no details on any kind of smart delivery. Is this a sign that Sony PlayStation 5 is still going to charge for these enhancements like past generations, or is this just a Rockstar thing?
Rockstar sent an email following this saying that no, if you own it, you can play it. You don't. They're not going to double dip on that. Okay, it's not coming.
Yeah, I think it's a good question because from what I saw, from Rockstar, but maybe you got a different email than I did. They said GTA Online will be free. They didn't say anything about the regular game.
No, not that it's going to be the GTA Online's going to be free, but the game itself, you would still need to own a copy of GTA 5. And if you own the PS4 version, that one will still carry over. You don't have to buy a special version.
Oh yeah, no,
of GTA.
I understand. I know. Here's Adam. What carries over?
Your PS4 version, the one if you bought a digital version, and you go on your PS5. You can download that version. You won't have to buy it. It still works. Or I'm assuming also the disc if the digital one works.
And you'll get the upgrades.
Yeah, you'll get the upgrades. It didn't say anything about charging in the emails, the propaganda emails. They did a whole follow-up explaining because that's what we found out, that the game's not coming till mid 2021 for both next-gen consoles, not just for PlayStation. It's not a launch.
This is confirmed then, just making sure here.
It's in emails.
Get some emails.
Adam has the emails, man.
I get all of them. I see all issue. When they say, hey, you want newsletters? That's how you get the news direct. You just say, yes, I'll take it.
Man. Okay. Yeah, so you can play this game day one when you play your PlayStation 5. You just won't get the enhancement.
You won't get the enhancement until the middle of it. Is that what it is?
Yeah. The way they make it seem, no, it's not going to be available on there until mid 2021.
Oh.
Damn. So that's why they didn't announce it as a launch thing, and they had to clarify when they sent the email because people, I guess, were blowing up their forums like, "Oh, this is awesome! We're gonna play day one." And somebody's like, "No, we're coming. It's gonna have features and all that stuff, but that will be available mid 2021." So when you get your PS5, no, you will not be able to just download the game and play it because it's not available yet. The 2021, then it becomes available. Then there you go. You'll get the bells and whistles.
So how about this one? So, okay, I mean, granted, the PlayStation 4 is backward compatible. Wouldn't that mean it's also backward compatible with Grand Theft Auto 4? I mean,
it's on the games and the publishers that support it and what they want to do.
Yeah, it's only they have to scrub every game in order for it.
So in other words, there's a good chance that if you stick your PlayStation 4 Grand Theft Auto into your PlayStation 5, it may not even work.
It won't work. Yeah, for a lot of games, and that's what even in the boring first one, the one that we saw, the Mark 21, that's what he saw. Oh, we plan on having a bunch of games ready, backward compatible, and it's all day long. Because
again, because I got to clarify, because at that Mark Cerny thing, they said 100, but literally the next day they said they're going to have like over 4,000 ready. By the
there you go. Because it all depends on talking to these publishers, talking about their titles, saying, "Hey, can you put these patches? Can you get this? This is the new code that we're having for that way it can be compatible on a new one." If they do it, then yeah, it'll be done because Sony's not doing it. It's up to these publishers to do it.
And think about it, this is no different than Xbox. It's up to the publishers ultimately, you know?
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just pushing them to do it so that way they don't just double dip and be like, oh, guess what? You want to play this? And like I'm waiting really, and I don't know if we talked about it before, but I'm really waiting to hear how Ubisoft goes about this for the Division and stuff like that. Because those are games that are always online, those type of experiences. Are you going to say to these people that they have to buy another version of that Division with the expansion? Or will that content be available to re-download and play on a PS5?
Adam, was it the Division that they announced was coming to PlayStation 5, or was it Destiny? I'm getting
Destiny. Ubisoft didn't say anything about any of their titles besides. Yeah, in fact, no. But yeah, besides that, no.
Yeah, I just know it's one of those looter shooters that start with a D. That's all I do. All right.
I didn't get an email on them. Actually, I did. Hold on, let me check my email.
Okay, but anyway, so yeah, will PlayStation have its own version of smart delivery? Ultimately,
I don't know.
I think
no.
You think they're gonna make people double dip?
I don't know.
I think no. I just think that they're, smart delivery is just already good to go. Like every Xbox One game is ready.
Yeah.
I think for PlayStation they have to put more effort into it. In that aspect.
Then what games? Well, what exclusives for the PS4 have been announced to be coming to the PS5?
None yet.
Because I think the closest thing that we have is the whole Spider-Man thing, and even then, it's like, okay, you have Spider-Man PS4 and Miles Morales PS5, but we don't know if it's going to be a Spider-man PS5. Is
we
there?
have a question about that by somebody.
Okay, cool.
The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima is confirmed to be on the PS5.
Really? I haven't.
Yeah, remember we talked? Didn't we talk about this?
Did we?
Was it confirmed?
Was it confirmed?
Let me look it up.
Look that up because I don't want to confirm anything that I'm not sure about.
When we talked about it, we were like, if they did that,
we said they
weren't
going to do that.
Nobody would buy it. Yeah, nobody would buy it. They were like, I'll just wait a few months and I'll get it for this version.
Again,
I thought we did talk about this, but okay.
Because this is what I think, and this is based off the conversation we have. I think Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2 are going to be playable on PS5. They're not going to tell you that though, not right now, because they want you to buy those.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be something that's right away. I think they're going to wait until the games are right, and then they're like, "Hey, by the way."
Yeah. Oh no, when PlayStation 5 is about to come out, then they'll tell you that shit. Like, hey, remember those games you played a bunch of months ago? You could play them on PlayStation 5. They look better. Watch.
You can continue your game onto the PlayStation 5. Enhanced, no additional charge. That's what they're probably going to do.
But when The Last of Us 2 comes out, which is next week, and when Ghost of Tsushima comes out, which is next month, you're not going to hear them say shit about PS5. I guarantee.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah,
even
they're not going to say.
We know for a fact those games will be playable on PS5. It's just how it is, man.
That's about when you're going to hear about. Oh, hey, Death Stranding works on there. It's funny how on the same day of the same day they announced the specs for Death Stranding for the PC version. That Sony thing came out too.
That's funny, but yeah. Again, when you watch the industry, you know how these guys work, man. We know for a fact those games will play on PS5. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that until the PlayStation is about to come out.
It's time to really say it.
Because it's going to be a selling point. Hey, PlayStation 5, you can play all your PlayStation 4 games on it, Play all your PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5.
Site, man.
Oh.
Who you hating on?
Oh, man.
What? VG247?
No, this Games Radar. I'm trying to read a freaking story, and this thing keeps fucking. The ads keep messing things up.
An ad blocker, man. Google, baby.
It's for free. Well, none's for free.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Where the fuck are we right now? Ronan once again. All right. Do you guys think Horizon Forbidden West is really going to be a PlayStation 5 only title without seeing gameplay or a release date or an actual price for the console? I keep wondering if this game is being built to run on either the 4 or the 5. My theory.
No, I think.
Oh, go ahead, Carlos. Since you're already talking.
I think this is definitely going to be a PlayStation 5 game.
Yeah, I agree. You know why? Because there's no release date. That shit could come out 3 fucking years from now.
Yeah. This shit ain't gonna come out next year.
That could come at the end of the generation, like when Dreams came.
And this is the reason why, right? Because they want a bigger install base for this shit. They're not going to release Horizon for at launch. It'd be suicide. It's only going to be 7 million consoles, according to some of these reports we heard. That shit ain't coming out anytime soon. And by the time it does come out, there'll probably be at least at least I'm being mad conservative right now. At least 20 million PlayStation 5s out there. You know. Go ahead, Adam.
I also don't think that they're holding it for.
No. It's just how long. That's how long it's gonna take. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they started development on the damn thing. So,
unless they think it's a console seller, because we've seen games, big titles become exclusive just for, like, for example, well, Microsoft did it with Halo. Which version? I forgot which one it was. I think it was Halo 2, but it was just for the 360. It wasn't playable on the original OG Xbox.
Real quick, Game Rant. So it says it's official. The Last of Us 2 will be playable on PlayStation 5 when it launches. A lot of gamers had wondered if it would be after learning that it would release in the same year as the next generation Sony console. Apparently, Jim Ryan confirmed this.
Oh, okay. But again, I don't think Sony's gonna harp on that very hard. You know.
No, I don't. I mean, Jim Ryan probably said it.
You know, yeah.
But I think the main thing is that they're not putting it out there like a full on thing. Like, in other words, a whole big release on it.
Not at this time.
I think they're,
no. They will.
They're gonna, they got a little bit of an under the table dealy. But I said you don't see it all over the place, right?
You know, it's interesting.
Games Radar is the only place that you found this information.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read it more.
But again,
maybe they're
that's
just
because they're not heavily pushing it for a reason. They don't want to.
Yeah, they're not gonna. They want you to buy both Ghost of Tsushima and Last of Us 2. They don't want to hurt their sales on those games,
because
so they're not gonna.
Yeah, they don't want people going, "Hey, shit, these games are playable on PS5. I'm gonna wait." They don't want that. Mm-hmm. You know, they don't want that. They want you to buy them right the fuck now.
Excuse me. Apparently, the Jim Ryan quote was, check it out. It says he then went on to say that the version releasing for the PS4, meaning The Last of Us, will play on the PS5 with no problems. So he didn't confirm that it would release, that would be compatible day one when it launches. He just says it'll run no problems on the PS5. So
oh god, more of this fucking back talk shit.
Yeah, he gave a vague answer, and they say confirmed.
Yeah.
Oh, it's better than some other people that confirm shit, dude.
Man, I'm saying VG 24/7, man. Yo, what is going on with that site? You know what I'm talking about, man. All right. So yeah, we all agree it's going to be a PlayStation 5 exclusive.
Horizon definitely.
Yeah, that is for sure.
Yeah,
again, we don't know.
They're gonna want to push people to the new thing. So
but we all agree that shit ain't gonna be available even during the launch window. We all agree on that too, right?
No way. They didn't say it.
Here is a question that comes off what Tony and I discussed like before the PlayStation thing. Do you think that Horizon Zero Dawn, the first one, will ever come to PS Plus between now and launch of Zero Dawn 2? Or Horizon 2, sorry.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Uncharted 4 did.
Yeah, I think so. That's a good way of pushing that subscription.
Shit, if it's releasing on PC, it might as well.
Crazy, man.
It's funny, they haven't. I don't think they said that it was coming to PC, but they haven't actually released the specs for it yet.
Yeah, they haven't. I guess we'll have to wait.
Oh, and funny thing about funny thing about why Horizon and Death Stranding are able to be on PC is because when they first designed the engine for Killzone Shadowfall, they did it totally to run on a PC and then brought it to the PlayStation.
Interesting.
So that's why it's able to work. It's already in there already. Huh.
Cool. All right, let's move on. We got Mr. Damien. This is not his rant, though. Again, I'm going to read that full thing on Thursday. Get ready for that, man. But his question is...
Rantosaurus.
At the beginning of the PlayStation 5 event, when they showed the original PlayStation, it said, "What if things had gone differently on screen?" Did you guys catch that obvious jab at Nintendo? I don't know if that was an obvious jab, but who knows? I wish Chris was here to answer this one. I don't know. I didn't catch it.
I wouldn't say it's an obvious jab, but it could be a subtle one.
It could be a subtle one, yeah. I mean, the question was, did you catch it? No, I did not catch it, sir.
I did.
Nah, I didn't.
I saw there was a bunch of words, but to be honest, during those sizzle reels, I kind of tuned out into another dimension.
Coming all them words
into another shape.
Yeah, I tuned into another shape. It was a star shape, actually.
Oh man! All right, let's move on. Next question is from Matt Wheaton. Simple one. What are your thoughts on Resident Evil Village? Give me that shit. That's my fucking thoughts. Give me that shit. Resident Evil 7 was awesome.
I hope it looks better than what it did in that trailer.
Oh. You don't
like? Is that the ones that had frame skipping?
I saw there's frame skipping, and there was some pretty janky looking textures. So I hope the final game looks better than that.
How do you release a trailer for a game with frame skipping?
Yeah, it looked like the friggin' like it was like one of the parts where it was a bunch of action and it just looked like there was skipping in the frames. I'm like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah, it's not like they were even playing it on stage. They had the chance to fix that. They looked at it and went, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. It shows it's real. Frame skipping.
Yeah. You can't deny that it's some magicness when it's like, yeah, it's literally struggling to run. So I'm guessing it was just like very early stage stuff they had and said, okay, fuck it, just do it.
Let's throw it in there. Well, they could have thrown some motion flow on the damn thing, right?
Yeah, well, they could have at least kind of prefaced it like there are announcements of the games, not like the game is coming, but the announcement of we're working on that. Like they could have framed it a little bit differently, like here's some early footage of in development thing. You might know it. It's called Resident Evil, and people would have flipped their shit.
But then,
Metroid Prime, they just announced we're working on it, and here's a logo, and people still flip their shit.
But then, Brett, like we get to the point where people get annoyed with companies just doing that. It's like, hey, we have an announcement to make. We're working on the game. We'll talk about it later on. Like, again, it's kind of like a weird no-win situation where it's like you can't. Well, they can say that, hey, we're working on X game and we'll talk about it soon. Then people will be like, hey, where's footage? Where's gameplay? Where's something? But then if they show stuff that's early on and it looks really bad, it's really poor, then people are like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. So it's like a weird state where they can't really win unless they do the exact right thing, which is show game early that runs really well, and that's difficult.
What about option to just not show game early?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We wouldn't know all these fucking late 2021 games.
Again, I don't need to know about a game that's coming out in 3 years. Like, don't tell me about it right now. Don't. Like, it's starting to piss me off. Just leave it until it's the year that you're going to release it before you fucking announce the game.
All right, Brett. We already know what you're going to mention. Just do it.
Oh, no, that game's not even coming out. Ever.
Yes.
Ever. That's not even a game. That's just a pipe dream at this point.
Yeah.
Jeez, can we just stop talking about agents and move on?
Order.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to Elder Scrolls 6.
Oh. What happened?
That's not a pipe dream. That shit will happen.
Oh, no, that
and
will
then
happen.
They will put it on 4 systems.
Yeah, by the way, in case you guys don't know, Brett is talking about Star Citizen, the biggest scam in gaming history, But Elder Scrolls 6, that shit ain't coming out until PlayStation 6, man.
No, it's coming out for this gen.
You ever notice, so Brett, we get one Elder Scrolls game per gen. Is that how it works? Because I remember, like, for the 360, like, Oblivion was, like, the biggest fucking thing ever.
Yeah, basically, you get one Elder Scrolls and one Fallout game per gen.
We didn't get one last gen, or this gen, or whatever this is.
We got Fallout 4?
Yeah, you got Skyrim and Fallout 4.
That's right, we didn't get Skyrim.
No, Skyrim was last gen.
Yeah, that's right. Skyrim was
last gen. You get, like, one good Fallout game and one bad Fallout game per gen.
Honestly, it's about a 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
They seem to, and I'll circle back to that, Brian. If you want to come play Wastelanders with me, it's super dope.
Hey, Brett.
Actually, this is more of an 8-year cycle because when the hell?
No. A 10-year cycle is like every 10 years they come out with an Elder Scrolls game, and every 10 years they come out with a Fallout game. So it's like 5 years Elder Scrolls, 5 years Fallout, 5 years Elder Scrolls. That seems to be it. And I'm sure that math doesn't quite add up because I've been around I came in on Elder Scrolls 3.
Morrowind,
Fallout
right?
76 doesn't count though.
No, because it's kind of a side project.
So 5 years after Fallout 4, which is November, it came out 2015. So 5 years is this year.
Yo, I love how this question is about Resident Evil Village and we're talking about Fallout. But again, Chris is in here. He's our big resident. He's our resident Resident Evil guy.
Yeah,
That
dude's beating.
So we're talking about Fallout right now. Fuck that.
Okay, well, no, but it's just because I keep I'm always
Brett,
gonna get
okay. I was just making a joke. Go ahead, bro.
No, I want to bring it back on topic. I do want to talk about anybody who wants to talk about Fallout because I do have some thoughts on it. But Resident Evil, dude, I am super excited. The game seems to have returned to not its original roots, but its second roots, the kind of Resident Evil 4-ish, and the whole series is starting to shape up to be. I'm starting to get it now. Like, it's not necessarily about zombies or plague or anything like that. It's just about the idea of horror in all of its forms. Like, as Chris was saying, like, it was supposed to be like witches and ghosts and shit like that, like a haunted castle. Like, okay, like I can see where that would have fit better. And they're like, no, make it kind of zombie-esque. And they did something different. And this time it's kind of got werewolves in it. Like, it's now established
of vampires, possible
witches.
Like,
so now it's established itself as just kind of a general horror genre.
Yeah, because like
which now makes sense to me because before it just seemed like it was all over the goddamn place.
Yeah, no, and going on what you're saying, because remember the last game, Resident Evil 7, that was basically like House on Haunted Hill or some shit like that.
Yeah, and then before that it was a huge theatrical.
Yeah, the hills have eyes and shit like that. We're basically
like House on Haunted Hill is full on ghosts.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the one before that was like a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so like it's just. Where are you going? You go from like this, even the first one, this quiet, kind of desolate area. It's not just about zombies; it's about a house and an evil lab, and then it turns into about zombies. And like by Resident Evil 2 comes like, oh, there are zombies in the town, and like, oh, there's a big secret under the town that you need to figure out. And then by 3, I just kind of started losing. The meta storyline, like Code Veronica came out, and I'm like, I understand how these characters interact with each other. I just don't understand what the fuck Umbrella is doing, and like the world's rules always seem to change. So, but like now they're just like, I don't know, it's horse, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like I can just get on board with that.
Yeah.
Before you seem to be trying to come from a very technical point of view. If you just would have told me, hey, it's spooky wood shit, I would have just kind of gone at it differently. Cool. And that's what it is. It's just spooky wood shit. And now I'm really excited because I do not like the big theatrics, but I also don't like jump scares. This is my perfect type of horror game. It is a horror game where you have the ability to fight. Not necessarily just run in and kill everything, but at least have the ability to meekly defend yourself.
Yeah.
So, and a good chance of survival if you're smart.
Are you excited over the prospect of this version being compatible with VR?
Oh, dude, I don't know. I don't know that I can take any Resident Evil game in VR. Like my poor heart has
7
had.
in VR, that shit was crazy.
Oh no! I don't remember 7 in VR because I literally couldn't find anybody willing to do it.
Yeah, I did.
I'm like, Resident Evil isn't my jam, and like I was going through a lot at the time. I was like, dude, I've been through so much stress. I need no more cortisol pumping through my heart. But I'm really interested to see this. And people are like, oh, I'm a fan of Resident Evil. I'm like, would you play it in VR? And they're like, you want to play in VR? And they're like, no.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, you're the only one that I've known that's done it, and, like, you're a boss for making it as far as you did. You made it all the way through, didn't you, through the demo?
No, yeah, I made it all the way. I always beat my demos, man. It was like a 20-minute demo. I went through that whole shit. I was scared shitless, but I fucking did it. Although I have to say, that was not nearly as scary as this other VR game I played where I was underwater. That was way scarier. That's because of my fear of fucking being underwater and giant sea animals. In this case, giant sea dinosaurs. Fuck. But you know what? I didn't want to look like a pussy in front of the developer, so I beat that shit too,
Did the underwater dinosaur, did it look like Meg?
No, they were based on real dinosaurs and shit. Like oh my god,
Megalodon is a real dinosaur.
You just took that question way too seriously, Tony.
What happened now? We're talking about VR.
It looked like Meg.
Yeah, he asked if it was a megalodon.
No, I don't know megalodons. This was like about 100 million years before megalodons even involved in shit in that game. See, Manny, that's me taking it too seriously. Anyway, before I start looking up dinosaur names, let's go to the next question, man. All right, this one is from Drunken Demon. I wonder who that guy is. I bet he has a very nice British accent. So his question is, with Spider-Man Miles Morales seemingly being locked to the PlayStation 5 and due to the inherent small base of a launch console, do you think that will negatively affect its sales? And again, the key word here is seemingly, because we don't know. I'm still of the belief that this shit's coming out for both systems. But let's just say it's PS5 exclusive, right? Will it hurt the sales? No, it's gonna. Here's the thing.
No.
It's gonna be the main system seller, right? But how many will that be? Because again, from what we heard of reports, 7 million. So this game will probably sell 7 million copies. That's not bad, Obviously not the 15 million or whatever the fuck Spider-Man ended up selling, But I don't think it's going to hurt the sales if it is an exclusive. It just won't be PS4 numbers just because there's not as many systems, But again, that's hypothetical. I still think it's going to come out for both of them, But what do you guys think? Let's just, again, if it's purely a PS5 exclusive, will it hurt sales?
No, I don't think so.
I think they're hoping that it will actually increase sales because it'll motivate people. It's like, well, what is there to play? Well, take a look at this Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And Spider-Man's been killing it. Hopefully, I mean.
Here's the thing, though. I this is a little bit of a side thing, but I want to get you guys' thoughts on this. I think the PlayStation 5, if there's only 5 million units, 7 million, excuse me, I think all those are going to sell out. So you know what I'm saying? Like even without a killer game, those things are going to sell out.
Okay, let me ask this though:
Yes.
Is it a killer game?
We don't know.
Let me preface this.
I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked it. Go ahead, bro.
Hold on. Let me preface this.
Yes.
I know this is Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. I know this is Miles Morales. Fucking love Miles Morales. Into the Spider-Verse is still one of my favorite movies of all time. But this is not. It's a standalone thing. It's been confirmed, but it's also been confirmed to be a spin-off of a much smaller scale, similar to Uncharted spin-off.
Yeah.
Like it will be a full game, but it's also not a full game. This is not going to be the Spider-Man that we got.
But
we'll let him finish. Adam, go ahead, Brett.
And there was a lot of people that again, we're just talking about Fallout. I'll bring it back. People were bitching about how Fallout 76 didn't look any better than Fallout 4. This Spider-Man on the PS4 even is not going to look any better. It's just using the same engine with an upgrade. They made this game the way that they make a spin-off game, which is usually no engine changes. It's basically DLC that's blown up and sold on its own. And I never think those should be worth the full $60 price tag. I think it'll be one of those things that PS5 owners are interested in. I don't know that it's going to be the system seller. Because it's not a full, this is where a full-blown new Spider-Man 2, Miles Morales, then yeah, totally. But it isn't.
I'm glad.
And that's why I say,
I don't think it's going to be a system seller. I think it's going to be a game you buy with the system because there's not going to be much else to buy. That's what I think it's going to be. And I want to clarify that. This game is not going to move systems. It's going to be a game that everybody buys with the system, if that makes sense. And I don't think it's going to be $60. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be $60.
I think it'll be a little, and that's the thing. I think it'll be like a little $40, kind of digital add-on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to make it.
They said a standalone. They already confirmed that standalone game.
Well, that's what I mean. Like a little $40 like bling game. Doesn't take up that much space. It isn't super huge. That's not necessarily a good look. I know PlayStation's trying to be like, we have content, but when you say some of your biggest content is a spin-off of a successful game that is smaller in scale, it's not even like you get the full game plus a new overlay of the map. You just get less. Period.
Yeah,
it's content.
And I'm glad you say that because that's going to be. This is a conversation I want to have at the end of the year, right? How sad is it going to be when one of PlayStation 5's best-selling games is a fucking offshoot of a game that already exists? That doesn't bode well for the beginning of this generation, my friend.
Tony, you sent out that report, that one of the comment that the guy was clarifying the British dude saying, hey, no, this is pretty much Spider-Man 2.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't say that. They said it's a standalone game. No, I didn't put that out.
Yeah, to be seen.
Dude,
No. They said it's a.
Insomniac has confirmed that it's smaller in scope and said themselves, think of Uncharted and its spin-off.
Yeah, there you go. This is not a sequel. This is not to be thought of as a sequel. It is a spin-off game that takes place in the same world. That's it.
This is the Fallout 76 to Fallout 4.
No, it's Uncharted. Whatever the fuck, not Golden Abyss. Jesus, Lost Legacy. Lost Legacy. Yeah, and by the way, I kept saying First Light during the last show. That's actually incorrect. Even though you can play it on your own, you could also download it. This is not going to be a download for the main Spider game. This is going to be its own separate thing. So yeah, I think it's going to be $40. But again, so Brett, you agree with me? This is not a game that's going to move systems, but it's going to be a game that every PlayStation 5 owner will buy. Just because they have nothing else to buy, nothing else to play. I'm going to say it. It's going to sound insulting. By the way, what the fuck is everybody cutting out right now?
No, you were acting up. You were acting kind of weird.
Okay, on my end,
all you guys crazy with this.
Yeah, on my end, all you guys kept blinking in and out. That was nuts.
That you were. I heard you that way.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you guys sounded fine. It's just everybody's blinking out. My point is, this game is going to be. This is going to sound insulting. I'm not trying to make it sound insulting. This game's going to be like Destiny. Why did Destiny sell so well in the beginning? Because there was fucking nothing else to play. So it's
I'm afraid that's unfortunately that might be true.
That's what I think. That's
the way things are looking, at least for now, and people keep saying, "Oh, wait for the next announcements." I'm gonna say this: last time with PlayStation 4, we knew what was coming at launch. We knew generally what we were going to see. NAC, we knew we were going to see Killzone, and we knew what other games we were going to see along with that. And then all the rest of the things that we're showing in that presentation weren't even coming right away. So
no, you're right.
I think
this may be the worst.
I think Spider-Man. Yeah. I think Spider-Man is going to be it.
Yeah, it's going to be it. And isn't that sad that game is going to be it? This little standalone game. That's
the standalone game that is just a slightly enhanced version of the game of the previous game. At least from what they said, it's an enhanced version of what was on the original game.
And I can see it now. People that play this game and go, "Oh yeah, that game was really good." That's all they're gonna say. It's really good. No one's gonna be like with your original Spider-Man. Oh my god, it's fucking amazing! It's spectacular. No one's gonna say that about it. They'll be like, "Yeah, it was good."
I mean, you look at Lost. I actually didn't get to play Lost Legacy. Was that any good?
It was really good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay. Oh my god! Hold on, whoa! I want to point that out. Manny, you like Uncharted, right?
Yeah.
Did you play? And you didn't play the Lost Legacy?
I just kind of like, all right, I don't need to play anymore. That's it.
Right there in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. That is the enthusiasm that will come with the Miles Morales
by the way,
expansion.
A little bit of a caveat though. We've already had 5 Uncharted games, right? If you count Golden Abyss.
I don't know. I just
the fatigue. Brett, you know what I'm saying? The fatigue isn't there yet. For Spider-Man.
Brett,
yeah,
I have a
yes.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll let you counter to Tony first, and then I'll jump back in.
Okay.
I was going to counter Tony. I was going to say Manny's level of enthusiasm or lack thereof is an extreme example of what I'm talking about. It won't be that kind of fatigue, but it'll still be. You're right, Tony. It won't be greeted with the anticipation of a new full-fledged game or even a sequel.
Yeah.
That being said, I actually liked the First Light more than Infamous. I liked Infamous, and to be honest, I didn't like that jerk off in the main character of the last Infamous game. So I was like, ugh, I don't want to play that jerk.
Yeah.
You guys went from Cole, a character I personally like, but pretty much everybody else seems to hate. Somebody that everybody seems to hate more. Congratulations, you guys did a real bang up job.
I don't know. He just seemed like a jerk. I'm like, is that? And they're like, it's based off of Troy Baker. I'm like, is he a jerk in real life?
The point I wanted to make, Brett, is like the fatigue isn't there for Spider-Man, but at the same time, people are still going to be like, it's just a side game. That's still going to be there too. But at the same time, even the people who are saying that or saying it's a side game, they're like, fuck, but I got nothing else to play on this system. May as well buy it.
That's the thing. Like,
isn't that sad?
If this is the thing that it's launching with, that is pretty sad because you don't have like you don't have something on the level, right? At least right now, We don't have something on the level of a full-fledged game like Killzone or even Knack, despite how much people hate that game.
People are not going to buy. Let's just be. I'm not trying to diss the game because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a good game. People are not going to buy this game with enthusiasm. They're going to buy it because they got nothing else to play. Let's just be real here.
Oh wait, actually no, you will have another game to play because that stupid robots game is going to be on the damn console.
Oh God.
What was it? Playroom? Yeah, the Playroom platformer game is actually going to be on the console.
That'd be awesome. That Autobot game, you know.
No, it's Playroom.
Astrobot or something?
Astrobot.
Yeah, Astrobots. That's actually Astrobot's Playroom is actually on. It's going to be on the console.
Yeah.
So you'll have at least 2 games to play. You know, kind of like before where you had Astrobots and then you had Resogun that came with it, and Killzone and a Knack. Let's see.
Yeah. Should be interesting. All right, let's move on here. Wish we had Chris for this one, but we still got enough Souls guys in here. All right, next up, G Megaforce 123. His first question: how do you guys feel about Demon Souls' new art direction? I personally am not feeling it much at all. The original works so well because the world is meant to be dreary and dark, but this new art style looks more cartoonish and out of place in my opinion. I will still probably get the game, but it is definitely disappointing to me. I guess you can't trust anyone but From Software to make a perfect remake. Brett, you take this one, man.
I didn't catch the first half of that question. I'm so interested, though. Can you read it for me?
I will reread it for you, sir. No problem. All right. How do you guys feel about Dark Souls' new art direction? I am personally not feeling it at all. The original works so well because the world is meant to be dreary and dark, but this new art style looks more cartoonish and out of place, in my opinion. That's the first half. And then you heard the last half, so go ahead.
I agree. I don't want to, but like it's taken me a minute to like I saw it and I'm like, yes, fucking Dark Souls, Demon Souls, we're doing this. And I'm still excited about it. But there's something half a degree off. It's like hitting the uncanny valley. And I actually couldn't put my finger on it until I heard this question. I was like, oh my God, you're right. Everything is hypercolor and saturated. Like it's like they bumped up the saturation on everything. And yeah, it was supposed to be dreary and oppressive. And I realized how that can be alienating. And maybe they would have found a middle ground. But there's something about this that feels half a degree off. And that's fine for me. Because I didn't get to play much of Demon Souls. But to Chris, I'm curious.
Yeah.
That was his first game, his first introduction. That'd be like somebody fucking with Dark Souls 1 for me. I'm really interested to hear his reaction, as he's a perfectionist and he's seen the whole thing. This will be my reintroduction to the classic in a remastered form, which is it's like pizza. Even if it's good, it's bad, man. Like it's gonna be running on top of the old engine. Whatever they do, they're not gonna mess with it that much. But then again, like I can't help but think if From Software was doing this, they would have made a small few tweaks. There are some kind of legendary bugs and or tricks in the Demon Souls community that everybody fucking knows about and everybody's going to exploit. At least the older people are, and those things might have been patched or things could have been reworked if it were still from studio. I mean, to see them work on the game that, being able to take everything they've learned and take it back to their original game would have been fantastic. But no, it does feel like an imitation. And that's because it is. But I would tell you that if it's really running over the original engine, then it's going to have the bones of a Souls game. It's going to feel like a Souls game. Well, actually, I hope so. When I went back and I played Dark Souls 1, man, that was a huge difference. You kind of get used to the things that they change. So, man, I genuinely don't know. It could be a slightly weird, not quite looking Demon Souls mask over really aged, clunky controls. I don't know. I'm not on the fence on this game. Like I said, it's like pizza. Even if it's bad, it's good. I'm getting it. But I just don't know how high I want to get my expectations up. I'm not in full on amped up fuck yeah mode. As soon as I realized it was being developed by another company, I had to reel that back to okay, cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm not as much of an expert as you or Chris are, but this is what my take is, at least from the screenshots I've seen. I disagree with G Megaverse about how the new game looks cartoony. I think the old game looks cartoony, and I'll get to that in a bit. Basically, if you look at the old screenshots, like the character models and stuff, they look a little bit goofy, right? But all that shit was drenched with atmosphere, right? Like even with some of these silly looking monsters, like just by the lighting and shit, it looked fucking scary. The new one, it has realistic lighting, has more realistic looking monsters, and it kind of loses something in translation. As weird as that sounds, like even though the monsters are more realistic, the world looks more realistic, the lighting looks realistic. It doesn't look as fucking scary as it did back in the PlayStation 3. So I understand where he's coming from. I don't think the game looks more cartoonish. I think the realism is actually takes away from the horror of it. It's like if it looks too real, it doesn't feel as scary as something that's surreal. You know what I'm saying? So I could see where he's coming from. But I also want to jump on what you said about the mechanics, because that's one thing that kind of always bothers me when you have these games that have like new visuals over the old games. Like, yeah, but if you didn't fix the underlying game, that maybe age, some issues are gonna pop up. That's one of the issues I have with I forget the name of the fucking game, like Wonder Boy, right? I think it was, man, you know what I'm talking about, Dragon Boy, whatever the fuck that shit was.
Yeah.
The game looks beautiful, but it still plays like the old game, and that old game never played that well. At least in my opinion, it was too slippery, So I don't know. I mean, maybe Demon Souls still plays good. I don't know. But who knows if they change that? But if they did change any of that, will the fans complain? So it's a very tight rope they're walking. I know what Bluepoint when they did Shadow of the Colossus, it played the same as I remember. But some people don't like the way it played originally.
I mean, they did fix. I mean, a couple of things they did fix with Shadow of the Colossus. They kind of fixed the squirrely camera a little bit.
Yeah.
But when you still played it though, you still kind of ran into the squirrely camera issues.
Yeah, and the horse that does whatever the fuck it wants. People don't like that.
Well,
I forgave that because obviously it's a horse. It's going to do what it's going to do. But a lot of people.
Well, the horse is actually programmed not to always obey you like a real horse.
Yeah. But I remember how a lot of people didn't like that. I'm talking about little things like that. I thought it was fine. I thought it was fine. Like that's what a horse does.
It made it sort of feel like it was its own thing, as opposed to just a car, essentially a horse-shaped car that you get on.
Pretty much. All right. And the last question of the night. By the way, guys, good job on the questions. We did these without taking too damn long, because I was like, yo, we're gonna be over 3 hours answering this shit. Good stuff. All right, last question from Mr. G Mega Force. Do you think the Switch can outsell the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X this holiday season? He goes, I'm going to go with yes. Right now, Sony and Xbox are bathing in attention with their new next-gen consoles, but I have a feeling Nintendo is going to announce some really good games for this holiday season. Nintendo has been good at keeping tight-lipped about things until the perfect moment. Case in point, Paper Mario came out of nowhere and is being released next month. I'm expecting Nintendo to drop some big announcements soon, along with the rumored remaster of games like Super Mario Galaxy. That, along with the fact that the consoles are probably going to cost between $500 and $600. I'm not sure if PlayStation 5 digital will be $450. It'll be interesting. To answer your question, Nintendo Switch will be the best-selling system this holiday season. I'm going to tell you why. It's going to be the cheapest system. It's going to be the most readily available system. Again, you're going to run into issues trying to buy a PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X right from the jump, and the fact that they're going to be so expensive, people are going to, I'm going to buy the Switch instead, So, yeah, Switch is definitely going to be the best-selling system of this holiday season. I'll put money on that if you disagree, But I guess you guys don't.
Oh, no, I 100% agree. I think the Switch is just going to outsell. Again, exactly what Tony said. Price point, more availability, and if Nintendo just has some killer game coming out at that time, then it's in the bag. Because then it's like, hey, whatever, because it seems we don't know what Microsoft has launched just yet, but we know and so far Sony's launch lineup is somehow worse than the PS4 lineup. is really odd. So it's kind of like it's Nintendo's game to lose.
Pretty much, But the thing is, as we've seen, Nintendo doesn't even have to have any big super bangers to win, But I'm pretty sure they'll have something that the fans are gonna salivate over, So yeah, again, this is.
I mean, the question is really: is Nintendo going to outsell Microsoft? Sony's out of the equation. They've already announced they have limited systems. So if we're talking about sheer numbers, they're not going to hit it just because of quality or quantity available. So they're out of the race. So the question becomes: are they going to outsell Xbox? Well,
Good question.
They have been.
They did outsell them this generation officially now. But yeah, because the thing is, we haven't heard about any manufacturing problems or not manufacturing shortages on Microsoft's end. We haven't heard about that, but
I find that weird.
Yeah.
Does anybody else find that weird?
Why do you find it weird?
I'm not entirely sure how much I buy the limited supply thing.
For
I mean,
Sony?
yes, of course they will. Of course, the consoles are going to be in limited supply. They're always in limited supply every time they launch. I don't think it's necessarily going to be more than normal. I don't know that they're hitting that many production hiccups. I kind of feel like that was a PR stunt.
Well, remember, by the way, Sony didn't officially say that. It's just a report that some insider found. Sony didn't officially say that themselves.
Wasn't that reported in Sony's magazine though?
No, it wasn't. No. Sony's magazine. Yeah, that's not Sony's magazine either. That's
let's not get into that. Official magazine.
No, but the actual they're gonna have limited 7 million for the first for the launch window. That Sony didn't put out that statement. That was a report from an insider.
Oh, okay. Well, I just don't know how much I believe that report at this point.
Yeah, exactly. The whole report could be bunk. We don't know. We do not know. What's up?
And this sounds weird coming from me because it sounds like I am going to be defending them. But usually in the launch window, how many consoles do they make anyway? As in, if we were to compare the amount that this report is saying will be there compared to the amount that a usual console has when it's business as usual, what is the difference in terms of numbers?
I'm glad you say that because let's just be honest, most systems when they launch don't have a lot available. They always have shortages for the most part. So I agree with you, Brian. Is Sony having a shortage unusual? Because I don't think it would be. Nintendo, the Switch had shortages too for a while. I don't know. What do you guys think, Adam? What do you think, man?
Shortage?
Yeah. Do you think the Switch is going to be outsell PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X?
For the price, yeah. It's during the holidays. Most families, especially in our current climate, they're going to go with what's cheaper unless they have that spending cash. And like we said, this is just a console. It's not a priority. It's not like a phone or anything like that or a car. So if people are really hurting and they're like, all right, I do want to get my kids something and multiple kids something, then it's like, well, let's go with the cheaper option that's going to be the Switch, unless they don't have a supply at the time. But I doubt that. I think they will be in supply. So,
hey, Tony,
what's up?
If you're out knowing nothing, buying a console for a family, even your kid or something like that, you're like, all right, am I gonna get the cheaper one that I can keep hearing fucking about and has all the Pokemans and whatever? And there's this other one that's twice as expensive and has no games.
Yeah. I think you know the answer to that. It's is that the one with the Animal Crossing game? Yeah, I'll buy that.
$20. And we talked about how older people think everything's a fucking Nintendo to them.
Yeah, that's right.
So, dude, where's that Nintendo? That big shit I keep hearing about Nintendo. Oh, it's right here, the Switch. All right, give me.
Because they do regular drops of their big news, unlike everybody else who waits until E3. Paper Mario is a perfect example. Nintendo's just hey, this thing is coming. And then the second you start to be okay, well, maybe I'm not so excited about that. There's another thing. Animal Crossing fever just died down. It's still dying down. Yeah. Boom, Paper Mario announcement.
That's right.
Animal Crossing came in just as Pokemon was dying down. They've got
the Mario collection.
Nintendo's going to do something, man. I guarantee you that.
They keep the Wake ones, so they keep their name relevant constantly. And so just like you said, yeah, that's that Animal Crossing game. Or that's that Pokemon console. People know it for the games that it has.
Isn't the rumor that they're doing the whole Mario collection, the Sunshine, Galaxy, and all that? That would be big.
That
actually.
would be. Nintendo's going to have something. You know, again, I did say that as a joke. Like, even if they didn't have anything, the system would sell. But let's just be real. Nintendo's going to have at least one big fucking game that everybody or their fans are going to go insane over. You know, so don't worry about Nintendo this holiday season. You know.
Yeah, Paper Mario's coming out in July. That shit's gonna be crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah. Again, you have a $250 system that with a bunch of games versus a $500 system with no games. What are you gonna buy? You know,
with a standalone game.
Yeah. Bro, you know none of those systems is coming with a fucking game. You know,
dude, that's the conundrum because like usually think about it. You buy a system. You never just buy a system. You buy a system and a game. What happens when you get to the shelf? And there's just a system, and like, they're like, oh, there's a Spider-Man thing you can download. Okay.
Oh no, I think it'll be a physical game. I guarantee you that because they gotta prop it up.
But they're okay. Just the case in Walmart is going to be fucking pathetic. It's gonna be like 6 things, including shovelware.
Yeah.
No, Brett, that's always the case for the most part. For PlayStation, it was like Knack and Shadowfall, and then Madden 21 or Madden 14 or whatever year that was, and NBA 2K, and some fucking cheap ass golf game that no one plays.
Yeah, but we learned our lesson this generation. Like, how many times did you hear us say like, "Motherfucker, I'm not doing this again"? I've sitting on this goddamn thing for 2 years before anything worthwhile came out. Like, who here that bought it day one is really super thrilled and think it was not necessary that they bought it day one?
Well, I mean, I bought it day one, and I didn't feel like it was necessary. But then again, if you ask me, do I regret it? I'd probably say no.
Not necessarily regret it. Just would you have done things different? Like if I would have gone back, like I wouldn't have bought my PlayStation 4 right away. There was nothing to play on it. I was anticipating they would release some stuff, but it was like almost 2 years. If I could go back in time, I'd be like, nah, bro, just wait. It ain't worth it right now. And now, especially where you're pretty much playing the same games. That's the reason I don't want to go out and buy it on day one, because last generation taught me you don't fucking need it. Before that, it did kind of matter. There were always a couple of cool launch games, and it was at least exciting to get in on the wave, and there was more of a sense of community. Now it's nothing.
Yeah. By the way,
it's nothing new.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Brett. Sketch. We're not saying the system is literally not going to have games. It's going to have games. Just games worth getting. We don't think it.
We think they're worth getting.
We think.
No. Let me put that better. We're entitled older gamers who used to have systems come out with games dozens at a time. Like you'd be swimming in motherfucking games. No, they'd be terrible. But like, dude, within like Super Nintendo, within the first 6 months, how many fucking games were out? PlayStation 2, how quick did those games come out? PlayStation 2 had the biggest library. If you went to rent a game, which I know none of you have because most of you are too young, but you used to have to go down like 3 fucking aisles of PlayStation games. It was an absurd amount, like 2 GameStops worth of games, all PlayStation 2 games. It was fucking ridiculous. Now, like 3 years into it, we're like, okay, now we've got 12 games. Like 12 actual worth-playing games.
By the way, because obviously when the generation starts, there's going to be plenty of games to play on PlayStation 5. The thing is, a lot of those games, let's just be honest, are either going to be bullshit or they're going to be available on a system you already own. And that's the main thing I want to bring up, right? There will be exclusives on the PlayStation 5, but I do not think, and by the way, I hate to say, in my opinion, obviously this is my fucking opinion. I'm the one saying it, Anyway, so there's going to be PlayStation exclusives, but I don't think you're going to be system sellers. And the big games that you want to play, they're going to be available on a system you already own. So that's what we mean by no games,
Yeah, like Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Yeah, you'll be able to play that on your PlayStation 5. Totally.
Yeah,
but it won't be the only place that you can play it. You play it on your PlayStation 4 or your PS4 Pro. And I'll be honest, as somebody who just bought a PS4 Pro, I'm like, so you want me to spend how much for just a little uptake? If I really just wait the 2 years, then it's probably like. And this is the reason I keep bringing up 2 years. Microsoft announced 2 years. They're dealing with their publishers and their third parties on a 2-year kind of contract. Will Ubisoft put out Assassin's Creed on both systems for 2 years? Yes, because it's money. Does that mean that they're going to design it for the PS4 and then just pump it up to the PS4 Pro and the PS5? Yes, that's exactly how it's going to be.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to. If Ubisoft is doing this for Microsoft, Ubisoft is going to do this for PlayStation. It's going to happen that way. You're not going to have Ubisoft. You're not going to be like, hey, Ubisoft, I know you're making money selling across 2 platforms, each on, essentially on 4 fucking platforms, 2 on each side, last gen and current gen. But we'd really like it if you just, cut out about 75% of that and just worked on an exclusive for just the PS5. Because that'd be great, Ubisoft. Ubisoft's going to be like, here's a poll you can go fuck yourself with. Like, there's no way it's going to happen. So I know in my heart of hearts, this is going to drag the progression of gaming down for 2 years. The reason I'm not super upset about that is we barely have any traction for the first 2 years, as is historically shown. So it's kind of business as usual. But I know there's not going to be any big leaps. They're not going to move forward for 2 years. They've told me that. And yes, that does apply to PlayStation and Sony for all the reasons I said, and except for the very few exclusives that they're going to put out, because they put out a few, and they space them out pretty good. Tell me what the advantage is. I could be just like Brian. I could just sit back for 2-3 years playing the exact same games, and then when you have a library of 3 or 4 games that I want to play, get the system on sale and play those.
Well, dude, that's what I've been saying. I want to state or emphasize what Brett's saying. It's like because some of you may be saying, "Oh, there's no, you don't know that, Brett. There's no precedent for it." Yeah, there was. This generation's the precedent. This generation took 3 fucking years to get started, man. Think about it. Ubisoft, like he just said, Ubisoft is not going to be like, we're just going to put out all our games on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X exclusively. No, they're going to keep milking that fucking thing. For at least 3 years, you're going to see cross-gen games everywhere. So if you wanted to, unless Sony starts getting some banger exclusives, you could hold out for a little bit, at least 2 years minimum. Let's just be real here. So that's where we're coming from when we say no games. We're not being literal. Come on, Sketch, you know better. Come on.
No, I mean, I don't think it's. There's going to be things to play for, but I mean, are these things going to be really must-have games? I don't necessarily think so.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And again, the big must-have games are going to be available on something you already own.
Yeah, especially like granted, if you do buy a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox, Series X, you can play slightly shinier versions of the games that are going to be on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One.
Yeah. By the way, Manny, that's one of the things Damon got mad at us about all through it. He doesn't like that term. But
slightly shinier?
No, he doesn't like shinier, but we'll get to that on Thursday when we address his concerns.
Whatever.
I will totally take the blame for that one.
Oh, man. By the way, we finally agree on what shiny means, because I was bred. You know how I am. I'm a literal motherfucker. I literally took it literally like shiny.
No, I mean, it
was literally.
Remember fucking Marvel Ultimate Alliance for PS3? I was shiny as a motherfucker, man. It was like
but I mean, it's just like shinier means more attractive version.
It means more graphics.
Yeah, just a more attractive looking version of it. But again, it's like the difference between the Assassin's Creed,
it's more better.
One Assassin's Creed released for the last generation and the one for the next one. It's not that much. It looks better, but it's not that much of a difference.
Yeah,
it's got extra butter,
it's more better.
It's more butter.
It's more butter. There you go.
Yeah, it's got a little extra butter on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of, right? Remember when they pulled over Grand Theft Auto, right, from PlayStation 3 to 4, and then they're like, hey, there's more grass.
Yes,
we have more grass on the ground.
Remember that shit? Like, look at our.
That was the grass gate.
That's shiny. That's obviously, it's not. Don't take that literal. Shiny just means better graphics.
Yeah, for all you PC guys out there.
Yeah, don't take it literally like I did. I was like, yeah, they are shiny. Look at all those shines.
Well, I mean, like if you look at like what do they say to people about people? If it's more attractive, if it's more shinier, people take more notice of it in general.
Well, shiny's been passed around for the Mafia 2 because all they did was upres it to 4K. So yeah, it's brighter, it's clear.
So it is shiny. Mafia 2. Not like Mafia 1.
No, Mafia 1's remake. That's a whole remake that they should show.
But we'll save that for Thursday when we're going to go more in depth about it. But that's going to do it for us. So before we leave, a couple of things. So again, we have a contest running at the moment. We're giving away a free copy of The Last of Us 2 if you want a chance to win it. It's pretty simple like we do on Throwdown because we want to give everybody a chance to win. You follow us on Twitter, follow us on Twitch at Throwdown Show for both of them. Then head over to our Twitter, and on the pinned tweet, you're going to see not only the contest details, but the question that you must answer in order to enter. The question is, what is your most anticipated next-gen game? It could be Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. We don't care. You know, it could be God of War 2. We don't give a shit. You know, whatever your answer is. And then what we're going to do is, we're going to take all those names, right, and put them in our Throwdown patented, fucking randomizer. It's not patented. I'm just making that up. And then we're selected random, and we'll give you the game for free. You know, physical or digital, anywhere on Earth. If you live on Mars, sorry, out of luck. We don't ship to Mars, man. We ain't covering that type of shit. On the moon,
Mars.
Yeah, but on Earth, we cover you unless you are living in Antarctica or something. You know, not even a country.
Even people in Alaska.
Yeah, we give Alaska's, that's part of the United States,
It is. It's just kind of pricey when it comes
to but anywhere, man, Papua New Guinea and shit, Philippines, we got you, son, The Virgin Island, Damien, we got you, man. Maybe you'll win The Last of Us for your homies. By the way, Damien apparently has a 17-year-old daughter. I'm like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah. And then I said, yo, how old is it? Then I realized, like, oh, shit. Most of us here on Throwdown, at least the three guys on camera right now, and Chris, who was like, we could have a 17-year-old daughter, and we would have had one like regularly. We finished college, we got a job and shit. We're old basically. That's a side story about when I had my niece was staying with me a couple of years ago. People going, yo, Tony, what's your daughter? What the fuck? I'm like, how could she be my daughter, bro? She's 14. It's like, oh, Tony, you were old enough to have a 14-year-old daughter responsibly too. It's like, damn, son.
Yep.
That shit is crazy.
The other thing that also doesn't help is that she looks like your sister, who also looks like you. Yeah. Who the kids look like you too.
Yeah, it's hilarious, man. Yeah, when I had the littlest one, she's like 3 now or something. But when I took a picture with her, she's 2. It's like, Tony, you got a daughter, and the worst thing with her, she has white skin like I do. It's like, oh yeah, that legit does look like my daughter.
I'm thinking about that in the context of current events right now, man. And the worst thing is she's got white skin.
No, but I'm saying she looks like me because my oldest one, she has like dark skin like my sister does and shit. But she looks like me. It's hilarious. But again, like I said, my sister had plenty of kids. That means I don't have to.
Oh, the line continues.
The line could continue, man. That means I could just be free. But yes, contests and all that other stuff. And Thursday, we should have another good show for you, man. So thank you again. Again, I don't say this too often, but I mean, I just say just because it's on the fucking script here. But yeah, thank you for checking us out every fucking week, man. Twice a week. You guys are the shit. We love you all. But anyway, for next week, leave us your questions in the Throwdown Discord server, and we'll answer them like we always do. Limit them to 2 gaming questions, man. And filler shit here. Subscribe to us everywhere, man. SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, all that good stuff at Throwdown Show for everything. And yeah, man, we'll see you next time. So once again, our show is Tony Polanco, and tonight I was joined by Emilio Lopez.
I love you all, but you're all fucking mad.
You're all fucking mad. Carlos Romero.
Hey, take care, everyone.
Adam Vale.
Yeah, have a good week, everybody.
Brett Murdoch.
Deuces.
And Brian Manjoma.
There you guys.
All right, people. Thursday. Peace out.
Hey, guys.
Peace.